should I start again? I will get started again. All right, there is more treasure in books than in all the pirates loot on treasure land. Hello, everyone. Once again, a warm welcome to each one of you. I'm happy to share. Cannot hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Loud and clear. Yes.
No, that's the version of we're clapping because it's awesome. So
thank you, Biff. Yes, I like this. So this is good. So much of energy. Thank you so much. I am happy to share that this is the first summit, author summit, that is organized by the STC community, speakers, trainers, coaches community. We're just 6 months old. Here, collaboration is the key, and the result of it is today's event. So welcome once again. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Radhika Ramakrishnan, a software engineer by profession and a happiness coach by passion. I'm the founder of Happy You, Better You. I strongly believe that there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. So let's all be happy. In case you are interested in connecting with me, you can check my website, radhikaramakrishnan.com. So I'm your host today. All right, along with me is my co-host, Deepta Manohar. Can you say hi to everyone? All right, there she is, Deepta. So she is a wellness coach and a traditional acupuncturist. She has trained over thousands of people to understand the healthy way of living without any medicines or materials. So her motto is to help people adapt a healthy lifestyle. So we'll be sharing all the details on how to connect with everyone. Maybe we will share a PDF at the end. All right. So that was about me, host, and Deepta, my co-host. All right. Now, let me walk you through our STC community. Let me share a short video. Let me know once you can see. Show me a thumbs up once you can see. Just a second. All right.
Hi, I'm Priyanka from Speakers Trainer Community. It's also known as STC Community. So let me walk you through what is this STC community is all about. It is all about like-minded people coming together to give selfless service. These people are highly motivated individuals who are committed to deliver high-quality services to our clients. So this community, what makes us so powerful and unique, I'll just quote 2 or 3 reasons what is making us so dynamic, powerful, and unique is that number 1, our vision of selfless service, giving you quality content under all circumstances. We all are committed to that, each and every individual. The second thing is we have got diversity of coaches, trainers, and experts in their respective fields. You name it and we have it. Ranging from your finance to data science, to your health, to your mental well-being, to your holistic personality development, we have all the trainers, coaches, leaders out here in our STC community. Serving people, changing life of thousands and thousands out there, making changes and life-changing, significant differences in their life, which I have also witnessed. And that's why we can boost it and say that STC community has something to offer to each one of you. Be a part of us, join us, and explore or I would say that unleash that hidden potential within you, which we would help you out to explore those things, So that was just a walk you through to what was STC, and now we can just go through what our experts have in for you. All the best.
Hello everyone, I'm Colonel Aditya Singhal. I am a veteran with 33 years of service in the army, and now I am a career coach and mentor for the youth. I guide them to select the right career and excel it. In addition, I also help them to face and ace the SSB interview for joining the armed forces. I'm also a life empowerment and transformation coach. I have been associated with STC community for the last 6 months, and it has been an amazing journey, and I am happy and I am very, very empowered to be part of this community. And anybody of you, if you want to excel, you want to join us, you are most welcome. Thank you.
Hello friends, I'm Surajit Roy. I'm a part of the STC community. I am a mentor to young professionals and I teach them through my Work-Life Connect program on how to enjoy their jobs, how to use their jobs as a tool to connect with the universe which resides in each one of them, and then come back into the external to enjoy not only their jobs but everything else in life.
Hi, if you believe in yourself, anything is possible. This is Dr. Usha Rajagopalan, founder and CEO of Aura Training and Consulting. We at Aura facilitate leadership and behavioral skills training for students, teachers, and corporates. To talk about STC, STC is a newly formed group, yet each member has excelled from level 1 to level 4 within a short span of time. Can you just imagine how is it possible? This is possible because the group has a common goal and everybody is working towards the goal. And the goal is nurturing oneself and nurturing others. I'm proud to be a part of this STC family. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Roma Kumar and I am an NCRT trained adolescent counselor. I deal with their relationship problems, behavior problems as well as career related problems. Since I've joined the STC group, I found so much of motivation and energy and I have actually grown. You know, we have regular meetings, we collaborate and it's simply fun to be with like-minded people. I really encourage you all to join STC. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is me Sheila Rangaswamy from Bangalore. I am a school principal and a power parenting coach. I am very honored to be a part of STC community, that is Speaker Trainer Coach community, wherein we have highly esteemed and highly motivating members of this community who are motivating each other and who are inspiring others to achieve their success.
Welcome, welcome, welcome once again. All right, so how is it? Put it in the chat below so that I can read it out for you. Let's see, what do you feel? How do you feel after seeing this? Inspiring. Awesome, amazing, inspiring, awesome, awesome. Oh my God, good to see this. Every time I watch this video, right, I just feel so thrilled. So amazing, enthusiastic. Thank you so much, everyone. All right. So what is there today? Okay, I think I'm still is. I see many of them. Just give me 1 second. 1 minute. All right, here I go. I'm here. You know, I have different setups here. It's a virtual world. There are 3 monitors. So sometimes I'll be looking here, I'll be looking there. Bear with me. All right. Now, so I must say that we all were strangers 6 months back, and now it is like an extended family. That's the power of STC, a gateway to become a successful speaker, trainer, coach. All right. So how many of you, I want to ask this question, how many of you know about the 5 wives and 1 husband thumb rule? Let me know in the chat. 5 wives and 1 husband thumb rule. Okay, let me put this chat. All right, some of you say this is new to me. Don't know. Saurabh says don't know. Do share. All right. So 5 wives, 1 husband thumb rule is one of an important thing which you can apply everywhere. So I'm sure that you all are excited to know what is happening here. We have played the video. We got to know about STC community, all those things. Now let's see what is this 5 wives and 1 husband thumb rule and how we are going to make use of those questions here. All right. So first, what is this about? By now you all know it is the Author Summit. Who is it for? It is for each one of you, each one of those aspiring authors. Now, where can we find the information provided? Where can we use this information which will be provided today? The moment you have the thought that you need to write, from that moment till the time it is marketed, you can use all the information which will be provided today. Hope that answers. All right. When can I start? Today, day 1 or 1 day, right? So it's never 1 day. Day 1, it starts today. So I'm sure maybe by 2 months from now, we will have many authors out of this group itself. Why should I write? This is something, the why, you should, get that question very clear. Why should I write? In my case, if you have to ask, I want to leave a legacy. I'm one of the aspiring author, and maybe by end of say 2021 or early 2022, I don't want to see a book in my name. All right, so that was about the 5 whys. How to become an author? This is the most important question, and I'm sure everyone here is present because they want to know the how part. So you would get loads and loads of data today where our authors, our keynote speaker is going to share a lot of information. So make sure to keep your notes ready. Also, since this is 3 to 6 p.m., make sure to have your water bottle ready because you don't want to miss even 1 minute of it. You're going to get loads and loads of data. With that said, time and tide waits for none. We all know this. However, are we managing our time effectively? Are we working towards our goals? Today, we have a great keynote speaker for you. He was in the Indian Army for 34 years and was appointed as the chairman of Army Public School, Bareilly. But he was attracted towards personal development of children and took a conscious, hard decision to shift gears and enter the education field. So in his last 17 years, he's interacted over 40,000 students. Can you imagine 40,000 students, 160 principals, over 3,000 teachers, and more than 2,000 parents? He's an educator, a time-conscious coach, leadership trainer, author of 6 books, including $1 Million Second, which is one of the best-selling books. So this book has some of the proven time investment strategies. So he's on a mission to transform the lives of the youth. His various leadership, time management, and goal-setting programs have emphasized the importance of self-discipline, team spirit, and time conscious. So I personally feel privileged to be part of his academy, BSB Life Academy, and having him here today. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Brigadier Sushil Bhasin. Right.
Thank you so much.
Sir, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, absolutely.
Jai Hind, sir.
Yeah.
Jai Hind.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to see you all. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you, Colonel Aditya, and all of you. Some of you have now become friends, and some of you are going to be friends in another half an hour. Okay, so that's where I say I'm the richest man in the world. And I say that because I have the richest, the best friends, and the wealth of those friends. I challenge if anyone can have better friends than I have. And that's why I say I'm the richest man in the world. So by the end of this talk today, I would have increased my wealth. Thank you very much. So shall I start? So your time can start clicking now.
Yes, sir. Stage is all yours, sir. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, firstly, I wanted to present before you a nice PPT, because I find that without PPT, people think, yeah, बेकार का ट्रेनर है, इसको कुछ नहीं आता है. But today my presentation is without a PPT. One, that I want to make it a personal interactive chat with you. And secondly, I did make a PPT, but something happened and it got crashed. And then I could never recreate in the time available. And I decided, no, let me go with my original self. So are you okay with that? Will you miss your PPT?
No.
No, very good. Okay. So my story of converting or, getting my dream of writing a book closer to reality happened on the 6th of May, 2015, which also happened to be my wedding anniversary. I was in Singapore and I was attending a seminar by Tony Robbins. And in that seminar, there was a 1-hour session by a global author coach called Jerry Robert. And Jerry Robert started his presentation by saying, how many of you ever wanted to write a book? And there were many people in the hall, including me, who raised my hand. And he said, why didn't you write it? If you wanted to write a book, why didn't you write it? And then he asked everyone to give answers. And the answers were, I don't even know how to write an essay. Who will read my book? I can't write a book. Who will read my book? Where will it get published? Etc. etc. There were a whole lot of questions that came up. And he said, how long have you been wanting to write a book? 5 years, 10 years. When he said 15 years, then I was one of them who raised my hand that, yeah, I decided 15 years I wanted to write a book, but never got close to it. And then he said something which I just loved. And because there's no PPT, because there's no, it'll be good if some of you who are aspiring authors put your thoughts that you get after I speak onto your paper. Brian Tracy taught me one thing: think on paper. Because what you think in your mind remains there. But if you put it on paper, it goes into your subconscious mind. Okay, so the first thing I want you to write down, if you want to, is, he said, write your first imperfect book. All of you have given me questions. Your doubts are because you want to write a perfect book and you never reach there and you don't write it. So be prepared to write your first imperfect book. And when my book got published, finally, my first post on Facebook was, my imperfect book is published. And then people used to ask me, why do you say it's imperfect? And I gave them the answer. And even today, if you read it, that book has got spelling mistakes. It has got many other errors, which we noticed later. We were in a hurry. We decided a date and we had to meet that deadline. We published the book. Okay. Good lessons learned. Not my best book, but a good book. And I'll tell you why. Now, after I came back from there, another thing he said, Jerry Roberts said that when you decide to write a book, make a commitment. Make a commitment. Tell some of your good friends to say, I'm writing a book by so-and-so date. And that commitment drives you. So I said, why 1 or 2 friends? I've got 5,000 friends on Facebook. So that very evening when I went home, I published a post. I am writing my first imperfect book by 31st December 2015. And guess what? More than 200 comments. I don't remember the likes. And all the comments were, I'm sure you'll give me a free copy, etc., etc. Okay. All that happened. And anyway, so I did make a note of people who said, I'll buy your first book. I said, these are my good clients, buy your first book. Okay. So the spirit was high. The intention was there, but there was nothing called action. If you don't convert your intention into action, no results happen. And that's what is happening. In the month of October, I was sitting on my dining table on my computer, and my wife was sitting on another screen, which is her TV. She's always there. So we normally work parallel. I'm on my laptop. She's on a TV screen. And she passed a very sarcastic comment to me. What happened to that book you were going to write? I said, yeah, it's written. She said, where? I never saw anything. I said, it's all here. She says, no, that is not the book. It has to be on the paper. Have you written anything? I said, no. And the December went by. Somewhere, none of those 200 people on Facebook asked me, where's the book? They also forgot. I also forgot the story ended. Fast forward another 1 year, May 2016. I was invited by a friend to a seminar in a jeweler's shop in Bombay. And there I met another gentleman called Satish Purohit. And he was doing a similar workshop telling people how and why to write a book, just like what Radhika did just now. I heard him and I got reminded of many things that Jerry Robert had said, because he that time did not know much about Jerry Robert, but later on I got to know that many things that he said were quite common with what Jerry Robert said. And I decided, now it is time, I must do it. We had a tea break and I said, Satish, I want to write a book. I'll be your client. Can you coach me? Because that is what he had offered. Next day, he was in my house on an invitation. I locked my room because I didn't want my wife to know what I'm doing. I signed up a deal with him, gave him a 25,000 rupees check, which he didn't ask for, because I knew that if I pay that check, my commitment will go high and it'll get like strengthened. So I said, Steve, should I give you an advance check? Like, he didn't even ask for it. He said, yes, thank you. And I gave him a check. And then 2 days later, I told my wife that I've signed up like this. And she says, what? You're going to pay 1,50,000? Who's going to read your book? And what are you going to write the book on? I said, yeah, my mission is to write a book for the students. So the students will read it. She says, no, there are hundreds of books available. Who will read your book? And many times I now show her my book and say, see how many people have read this book. Anyway, now I'll get back to a couple of things and tell you my story when Steve started my coaching. And here, all of you may notice the importance of having a coach, having a mentor who pushes you, who nudges you. If not that, at least an accountability partner who keeps reminding you, where's your book? So these are the questions which Steve asked me. Why do you want to write a book? First thing, why do you want to write a book? And I'll come to that later, what all I told him. He said, okay, good. How many pages? I had no clue. I just saw the normal page books were 200. I just randomly said 200 pages. So he did a few calculations and he said, when do you want your book to be published or completed rather? So I said 31st December, again, that same date, which I had promised people last year. So, and that means there were about 6 months left. And he said, good. So he did this calculation and he says, you need to write 1,000 words every day. And that will make you write from Monday to Friday, 5 days, and we want 5,000 words in a week. And if you, for any chance, are not able to do it in the first 5 days, you do it on Saturday, Sunday, but we can't see a Monday before 5,000 words have come. I said, yes, done. Okay. Then he says, what time will you write? I said, whenever I get time. He says, no, there has to be self-discipline. Please write, these are keywords, self-discipline. If you are not disciplined, if you can't obey yourself, if you say, I will write and you don't write, you need to pull yourself up and say, why the hell aren't you obeying your own instructions? That's what happened. I decided, I said, hell, enough is enough. I made a commitment last year. I dishonored it. I can't be dishonoring my commitments anymore. So I started, and then he said, what time? When I said any time, he says, no, you have to have a fixed time because the body requires a certain type of a routine and that works very well. So then I gave it a thought and I said, okay, I'll use 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. for writing my book. So he says by 9 a.m. every day, I want the 1,000 words. I said, done. Now, every day I started sending him 1,000 words because we had in the first meeting only discussed what the book is about and sort of jotted down a few chapter headings, what was in my mind. I'll come to that later. And the book started getting written till about a month or so when, one day I didn't send him the 1,000 words. He was not on WhatsApp. He sent me a SMS. Commitment, question mark. Another day, similarly, when the 1,000 words didn't go, he said 1,000 words, question mark. He used to send me just 1 or 2 words, phrases. And I got scared of them. And, I used to tell my wife, jaldi se breakfast do, 9 o'clock, I have to send, nahi to mere ko dant pad jayegi. That is how the thing started happening. One day, when I didn't send, he rang me up. He said, sir, it is your book. It is your commitment. Where are your 1,000 words? I said, Satish, I'm telling you, honest to God, I sat for that 1 hour. I did a lot, but I just couldn't think of what to write. I mean, I was short of content. He said, sir, it always happens. This is called a writer's block. So what you need to do is write anything. Write about sunny day, rainy day, my favorite author, my train journey, kuch bhi likho. Your mind needs to exercise. Like you go to the gym, you exercise. Whether it contributes to your book or not, doesn't matter. Write and send me. By 3 o'clock, I sent him 1,000 words of some jumbled thing. Okay, but I sent him. Guys, discipline, right? And then before 31st December, my book got written. I'm a goal management trainer also. And I also give this example to say, don't set outcome-based goals, set performance-based goals. Performance is, I'll write the book, that I can do. But publish the book, no, there's a publisher. Ab uski kahani hai. If he doesn't publish the book on time, you can do nothing about it, right? Anyway, my book got published and it was published by Notion Press. Okay. The first and the last book to be ever published by them. I never go to them again. And some people have had some very good experiences with them, but we are 5 authors who know each other, who went to them, and all 5 are absolutely disgusted with them. That is for you as a feedback, whether you want to go to them or not. This book, if I open, it doesn't even open properly. See this? I've been to a book shop where these books were lined up and you could see one book higher than the other, 1 millimeter. But when they're all together, they look bad. I found this green color to be different in some books and different in the others. So be careful. Okay. Now, from I want to also say that could have I written this book alone? Doubtful. I couldn't have. So therefore, I say a coach is a good idea. The next thing is then that I also want to talk something about Satish, how he helped me. First of all, he just didn't only edit. He co-created. He immersed in my book. He used to discuss and say, okay, now, why don't you next write this? And then sometimes he would give me some ideas and say, can you remember a story from your army life which brings out this? Or when you were running camp, do you remember of anything which a child said which could depict motivation? Or can it come out to where he overcame his limiting beliefs? And I would search my mind and say, that story. Okay. And then sometimes you even dramatize the story or exaggerated a story to highlight a point. So that was very, very important. Now, what the coach helped me was create a structure. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. Flow. He would tell me that this, from this chapter to this chapter, there's no bridge to connect the 2 chapters. So we need a filler here. So we need something to link these 2 chapters. Okay. Then he created a little design for me. And he said that every book has a type of a design in the structure. So I'm talking about first book, Design Your Life so far, there was a quote to begin every time, right? Now he also is a person, you may have excellent English. You can say, oh, I can write. I've been writing articles and all that. Good. But he's the one who connects you with the reader. Because as a professional, he knows whether this book is marketable or not. Will the reader receive it or not? And that is also a very important thing that a good coach will tell you, right? Now, coming to a few tips that I want to give you. And before that, of course, I want to talk about my second book, which is my main book. This is a book which is a best-selling book. It was published by CNBC and it was endorsed by Brian Tracy. And if you just see, if you can get an endorsement like a person like Brian Tracy, who also makes a statement which is stronger than I ever made. I never told anyone that I'll double your income, but he said that. Nobody can ever hear me from my mouth ever saying that. But you know, he said it. So that is something that I wanted to say. Now I will quickly get down to a few steps that I've written down for you, and I'll just go through them. I think I've divided the entire thing into 7 steps. And writing a book takes these 7 steps. I'll have to hurry up a little because Radhika, can you give me the remaining time so I can structure accordingly?
Sir, you have 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes.
Exactly 10 more minutes, yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure I cannot ever finish everything in 10 minutes. So wherever you want anything more, you can always get back to me. I'm also going to be doing on the, when will it be? 11 and 7, 18. Somewhere close to 17th or 18th of July, I'm doing a masterclass on writing a book. So anyone wants to attend, you do that. Okay. So now first step is the idea. When you get down to a book and you think of writing a book, please see that you have a great idea. Why do you want to write the book? Anyone who wants to write the book to make money from his first book should drop the idea of writing a book there and then. Okay, because you will not be able to make much money out of your first book. Treat your first book, and if you do, and that's what I told Satish, as long as my expenses are recovered, I'm happy. I don't want to spend on my from my pocket, but my aim would be that whatever I give to you, whatever I give to Notion Press and whatever else, that should be recovered, which I did well enough. In fact, I did much more, which I'll tell you later. Okay. And that is when I'm coming to repurposing the content of your book. That's the last point I'll talk about. Your core message should be very strong. If you are going to write a book on a topic that many people have written and your content is just as good as them, there's nothing new, there's nothing unique. The topic may be same. Time management is a topic, but I am talking about it differently. So either you have a different topic or you have a topic that is covered differently, a different approach, or you have made the approach very simple. There has to be something different. Otherwise, you will not be able to sell that book, right? Now, that idea which you have has to be developed and it should land. It should land. So there's something which I've learned from my mentors, that whether you are on the stage speaking or writing a book, writing an article, writing a blog post, ask yourself the 3 things that the audience, and in this case, the reader, should think, feel, and do after your session is over. Right? Now, if that is clear to you, then you structure your thing accordingly. And I also say that something like a flight, that you first taxi, which means you just bring about the idea. And then you take off with evidence. Research shows that this, and all that. And then you come to cruising, and that is your metaphor. That's your main substance added with stories. This is what happened in my life. There was once in my life, this happened. Bringing the core subject to the forefront. And then the last part, which is very important, is landing. Landing means that the message that you wanted to give finally comes and lands in the heart of the reader or the audience, and it inspires them to take action. When you can do that, then you are not only a communicator, you are an influencer, because your communication triggered an action. My second part or second step is the structure. The moment you decide that you have got to write a book and you're idea. You haven't written a word on the manuscript as yet. Don't worry. The first thing you do in your structure is just write down bullet points of the main ideas you're going to cover. And these later on become your chapter headings. So this is your first draft or your TOC, table of content. Okay, now that can change later. You change the headings, you will shuffle them, they may change the sequence, but right in the beginning, you just write the main points. And then under that, whether you use a mind map or otherwise, write the sub points, sub bullet points. That will give you a little structure. But before even you do that, if your main story or main idea is there, get straight away to decide a title. One very good tip I can give you is write on your blog post, on nowadays on Clubhouse, on Instagram, anywhere, I am going to write a book and these are the 3 titles, please vote for them. The first thing is you have now seeded in people that I am an upcoming author. My book likh rahi hu. And this is the title. And you're taking audience feedback. So you will also get a little idea that which title will go better. Right? Then you get a cover design. And if I show you some of my old cover designs, the Design Your Life had a very different cover till it finally got published and the new cover came up. You can change your cover. Nobody stopped you. But have a tentative cover ready, have your title ready, and along with the title is a tagline which explains. For example, if you see this $1 million second and it says the investment strategies for the digital age. This is what sells the book more than the title. Title people may not understand, but tagline is to tell them what it is about. And that has to be done, use a copywriter, use a lot of deliberation on that. Again, don't wait for it to be finalized. Jab tak book likhenge, bahut ideas aayenge. Now with this cover, go onto Facebook and say, these are the 3 covers again. Would you like the blue background or the green background, and get feedback? Again, from once you did for title, second time you're writing about the book, you are engaging your audience with your intention right now. You have started marketing your book even before you have written a word. The third thing you say is, I'm writing my book and, closer to when it's ready. It should be something like 15 days or maybe maximum a month before it is finally in the market. Pre-order. The book is priced at $4.99. All those who buy the book before so-and-so date, get a copy and say author signed copy for $2.99. And you would have sold your book even before you have written it or before it's published rather. Okay. One more idea. You write your first chapter. Like I used to write my first chapter, give it to Satish. Satish edited it, gave it back to me. And that was my blog post. Okay. I'm again engaging people and I won't write the full chapter. I'll write a part of it and no indication is going to be in my book. But I'm establishing my authority, particularly on time management. Okay. So these are some of the ideas that you can do. At this junction, I want you to start making an idea bank. Idea bank is, you'll say, oh, I saw this in that book. Can I also do this? So I'll give you lots and lots of ideas. I've got about 30 of them. I coached some people and gave them those 30 ideas. And all these people who were coached by me could use some of them. Okay, very well. So some of the tips, something like endorsements, forwards. So in this book, in Design Your Life, sorry, in $1 Million Second, the last chapter, which is the 11th chapter, is on I want to quickly show you this. Oh my God, why is it taking so much of time? Sorry, yeah, here it comes. Okay, that was bad. Okay. perspective. Sorry. Yeah. Can you see this perspective on time?
Yes, we can see. We can see, sir.
Perspective on time. Now there are 15 people stories. So I wrote a lot of letters to a lot of people, and that somebody included Narendra Modi. It included Brian Tracy. It included Jack Canfield. That do you have a story about your life when you managed your time very well or messed it up and gave you a lesson? And there are 15 such stories. At least 5 of them are from international authors. Okay. In that only I asked, and Brian Tracy wrote back, I'm a personal friend of Jack Canfield, but I got a message from his office to say Jack Canfield has categorically stopped giving any endorsements of books, so we are not even putting a letter up to him. And I left it. I said, okay, that's a decision. I respect his decision. But I never knew that Brian Tracy would send me an endorsement. So till you ask, and that is the principle of Jack Canfield, one of his success principles is ask, ask, ask. Don't expect to win a lottery ticket without buying a lottery ticket. You can't say I didn't get a lottery ticket because I never bought one. Okay, ask. Right. The next thing I will come to is when you start writing the manuscript. So quick 2-3 steps on that is write regularly the 1,000 words or whatever number of words you want to write, no gaps, because that builds up your writing muscles. Okay. I've already given you the idea of main points and bullet points. They will keep adding. And even till the end, I used to say, okay, I think this paragraph can be added in this now. And this is a story I suddenly remembered. Or, some friend of mine told me this happened in 1976. And I said, yeah, this can be a beautiful story in my book. Okay. And many of the stories came to my mind after the book was published. And guess what I did with that? I recorded YouTube videos and they add to my YouTube channel. And in that, I've got a playlist called Time Brigade. When ideas start coming, I met a lady who is my student, and her daughter gave me an idea. She does conscious music and therapy through conscious music. And she designed a jingle for me. So if you go on my YouTube, you will find there's a Time Brigade jingle sung by her, and that was on my book launch. Now that is some idea I haven't seen any author doing it. I've got a couple of things which I can tell you that no author in the world did what I did. Okay. Whether it worked or not worked, we can talk later. Now we come to 4th point, and that is editing. Now final editing happens in the end. By chapter editing is good if you have a coach like I had, and that really worked very well. Then is publishing. This was a big hassle with us because I was a first client of Satish Purohit. And he also at that point of time did not have any idea about publishing. But later on we grew together, and now he has his own publishing house. So now he can offer you a package of publishing the book end to end, including the ISBN number and everything that goes with it. Now, all this, if I tell you out of all my 7 steps that I'm going to be talking about, the easiest one, can somebody guess which is the easiest of all the 7 steps? Is the writing part. The manuscript is the easiest, which people dread. The tougher one now is marketing and distribution. You will write a book, but who will read it? And if you write a book and it remains in your cupboard, it is of no use. Okay. Yeah. So be careful. I know people say it is a glorified visiting card, which it is, and I've given it to many people just for that. I'll just tell you on Clubhouse, I met Ashish Vidyarthi, became a good friend. It was his birthday on 19th, and I sent him a book as a present. Okay. Now, for me, it was establishing a good relationship by giving a beautiful book, which is a gift, which is my book. And he sent such a nice video to thank me for that. Making relationships, use your book. Okay. So marketing and distribution, I understood marketing little bit in my first book, because my first book was only on Amazon. And then we went and did a book launch in Sapna Book House, and Sapna Book House agreed to put it up for 6 months in their 14 outlets in Karnataka. But nowhere else was it available in a bookshop. When my second book came, this was available in all landmarks, all crosswords, all airports, major airports in India used to have my book. Then I spent 40,000 rupees to get a pyramid. You know, when you go to a bookshop, you find about 100 books stacked up in a very decorative way. I did that. And a lot of my books sold on the airport because you're getting the high-end publicity there. Okay, so that marketing and distribution, I understood distribution. I went and visited more than 30 bookshops in which I gave a presentation to the salespeople of how to sell my book. Very few authors ever do that, but I have done it. At least 30 books, 30 bookshops, including Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai. Of course, I did many of them. So this is a good way of doing it. And the last one which I'm going to give you is the mother tip. There are many authors here I know who are going to speak after me, and I can see Chakradhar and his, brilliant, glowing face right now. Many authors write their first book and get down to writing their second book, even before enjoying the success of the first book. And I'll tell you, there's a beautiful idea. Don't write a second book. First book ka juice nikalo. Now, that is repurposing content. So what you do? Firstly, convert your book onto an online course and publish it anywhere other than Udemy. Do it on Upgrad, a high-end platform. Okay, so publish your book there. Publish an online course. Every chapter of your book can become a module. Secondly, convert all your chapters into blog posts. Thirdly, I got to write for human capital. And I gave them about 6 articles. I used to do 1 article every month. And that was again based on my book. They're all on time management and all from my book. Okay. Now here in those articles, I could add those things which came to my mind after the book was published. So it was a book plus, right? So you can use the same. I've got a 40 minutes time management work keynote speech, and I get 1 lakh paid for 1 hour. That is what my book is giving me. Jerry Roberts said, if you are a speaker trainer, write a book on the subject that you teach. Your book will sell your seminar will sell your book. Very, very important point. Okay. And the last thing is, your book can become an audio book, can become a
Sir, you're on mute.
You're on mute. Okay, can you unmute yourself? Yeah, I just muted all. There was some disturbance.
Sorry, and I think is my time over?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just covering, then I'll just finish off here and leave the rest of it. I'll just tell you the last point that actually 2 points which I must say, and I'll share as shortly as possible. One is that this book of mine got converted into a podcast called Zindagi Unplugged. And we converted this book into 24 episodes, and they decided to pay me 20,000 rupees per episode. So I signed my first contract for 4.8 lakhs. Okay. This book never gave me this money, but this book got into a podcast which gave me the money, right? When we were on the 18th episode recording, I got a call from them and says, Spotify says this podcast is doing very well. Can you please extend it to 48? I said, why not? So it became a 9.6 lakhs contract. Okay. So this book, whatever is given me from the book itself, has given me 9.6 lakhs from my podcast. So please repurpose your content. Usi content ko blog post banao, YouTube channel banao, online course banao. Then think of a second book. Jab pura juice nikal gaya. Like a sugar cane. Nobody just puts one sugar cane once and throws it away. He puts it again, then he folds it, then he puts 6, 7 together and folds them till not even a drop of juice is left. Please do that with your first book. And the last thing, I think I'll skip that because Tony Robbins says, book likhte kyun mat likho. Tony Robbins has in a seminar, in a panel discussion, said that it took me ages to write books. Now I find that if I have a new content, I can do a webinar, I can go online and make that money instantly rather than waiting for it to become a bestseller. So should I even write a book? That's also a question you have to keep in mind. But then writing a book gives you credibility, gives you authority, gives you respect. And please remember, it is certainly a glorified visiting card. When you go for a meeting and say, here's a book for you, please remember to put a nice bookmark, put your branding on your bookmark and put it there. Okay. Thank you. And I finished. I'm sorry I took a little longer, but there's so much more to say, but I thought this was the minimum that I must tell you about writing a book. Thank you very much. Thank you, Colonel Aditya. Thank you, Radhika, for this opportunity. And thanks to each one of you who chose to invest your valuable time. I hope the return on your time invested was not bad. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a huge.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Wow,
you for
Sridevi, nice to see you.
Very valuable content.
Sridevi, haven't seen you quite some time. Where are you missing?
Sir, I'm busy in some preparation of some exam.
Okay.
So thank you so much for those enlightening words. I must say 20 to 25 minutes and so many topics you touched upon from, the idea and how to write. So someone asked a question, what if I don't have enough content? So sir has already answered, just write. So if you don't have any content, just start writing. As I said, today is the day. Just write about anything and commit to yourself. Thank you so much. And yesterday, I'll tell you, Deepta and I were having similar conversation. We were like, okay, what do we write on? So I was like, okay, I'm going to write poems. I'm going to write this. So I think Deepta, Brigadier has given us useful and helpful information. What do you have to say here?
Yes, definitely, Radhika. I have got answers to most of my questions, Brigadier. I would start implementing it from today itself. Thanks a lot for those insights, sir. One more thing here, I would like to add, Radhika, that what all we want to write our problems and our experiences. With that, one thing which bothers me always is with my teenager who is at home because of this pandemic. Okay. And I give him a task, but there is no answers for that. He will be just busy with his gadgets. I try to keep calm, but sometimes lose my temper, try different things, but nothing is working, I am really clueless how to fix this.
Priyanka, can you please mute yourself? All right, others who have not muted, please mute yourself. Yeah, in between I can mute all, but then, the speaker, again, they have to unmute. So, all right, yes, Deepta, whatever she mentioned, I'm sure most of you can relate to it, isn't it? So, yes, kids these days, they are very busy with mobile. What to do? And that's why what I feel is wherever possible, we should take help. Our next speaker is an abundance parenting coach and an inner child healer. She holds a postgraduate diploma in child psychology and internationally certified parenting coach. She's also a certified Reiki healer. So this is what she calls herself. She calls herself student of psychology for life. That's good, right? And has learned under the guidance of legends like Dr. Paul Jenkins, Natasha Wizard, and Parikshit Jobin-Patra. So she's on a mission to help 1 million parents heal their inner child, help them build a vision for the children, and empower their relationship with them. She believes there is an inner child in each one of us who needs to be healed from inside out. Her book, The Visionary Parent, is a practical guide to build system. So please put your hands together to welcome Apurva Tare Yadvatkar, a mother of a beautiful girl, wife to a superhuman, and engineer turned abundance coach for parents and inner child healer. Apurva, over to you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Rads. I mean, for such a beautiful introduction. Frankly speaking, I was taken aback a little. I would like to thank Sushil sir for such a wonderful keynote. I mean, we have learned so much. We always keep on learning from you, sir. But today it was awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the STC Authors Summit. I hope you're getting a lot of value today. So let me start by asking a few questions. Now, I know Sushil sir has already covered this, but let me ask you, how many of you are really wanting to write a book since long, but sitting on the fence, having some kind of inhibitions? Yes? Yeah, okay. And how many of you are not interested and here to have something new to learn? Yes? Anybody? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Appreciate. Thank you. Well, those who want to write a book and are sitting on the fence, let me tell you one thing. You don't need to be a writer in order to write a book. Neither do you write a book because you are a writer. You write because you care and because you have a story to share. I'm going to do just inspirational things because Brigadier has covered most of the topics in order to how to write your book. But today I really want to motivate and inspire. If I'm able to inspire even one person in this group, that's all for me. So let me share my story on what really inspired me to be an author. So I'm a full stack developer, still working for a Switzerland-based investment bank. But I was, a typical mediocre girl from Mumbai who had big dreams, but never believed she'll be able to live them, right? I got married to a beautiful soul in the year 2014 and had my first kid in the year 2017. The feeling of holding that little one in my hands was unfathomable. I went on with life with a kid and happy family, a lot of great stuff's happening around because of the kid, because of my kid. But during the start of 2019, there was a day which truly transformed my life entirely and for good. So there was one day I was physically ill and I wasn't in the happy place. And I was sleeping or, not really active. And that's when my kid decides to be all over me. She was climbing me, she was throwing things at me. Well, since I was low on energy, I started becoming cranky. And because I was cranky, she started becoming cranky because kids are energy sensitive. They can catch your energy like this, right? Then, out of frustration, I started yelling at her and shouting at her. We both were in tears. And there came a moment when, I actually hit her. I hit her on her head like this. And immediately I realized, I had done a grave mistake. And I started thinking like I have ruined my child's brain. I hugged her and I started apologizing to her. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And that entire week, I could not sleep. In the night, I would cry like anything. I did not share this thing with any of my family members, but I was going through that. And in the night also, I would, caress my child and say sorry. I can't even express how I was feeling at that moment. I remember having, weird dreams, and I would wake up in the middle of the night. Then I thought that this is something related to my childhood as a child. Now I laugh a lot about it, but as a child, I have been bitten a lot, for forgetting things, for not doing homework, for not studying. But I guess you would all agree that our generation has been bitten the most, right? But there were few incidences that, somehow left a scar in me, and there were some unresolved emotions from my childhood which weren't resolved. But then I ventured into this whole new world. Then I thought that this is not something that I want my child to carry in her life. I started doing a lot of research. Like the first thing that I searched for was a parenting coach. Like I Googled, is there any parenting coach near me? And I couldn't find one. I couldn't find even single one. I don't know if there, even if there were, Google did not have the data. Okay. So I couldn't find even a single parenting coach to guide me, to handhold me in this process. Well, then I decided to take things in my hands, of course. I started my formal education, PG diploma in child psychology. That's when I started learning and implementing various tactics to handle my kid without yelling or getting frustrated. Then I'm also an inner child healer. I somehow did those processes to, uh, to remove those unresolved emotions. In that process, somehow I observed that there were so many parents around me, like even my friends, who would yell at their children for their mischiefs. And frankly speaking, I love children. And when I see some things happening to them, I really, I feel it. I feel it. I wanted to somehow tell these people to stop it. But what I learned was that people are not very open to change. If you go and if you suggest something to someone, or probably even I'll be reacting in that way. If someone is advising me on something, right? So, and that's the reason, that's the inception. Like when I started writing blogs, and started sharing them passively, so that I thought, maybe one of the blogs may hit the person in the right head. But then one fine day, my husband comes to me and tells me, like, why don't you make it official? Why don't you write a book if you care so much? And that is how the inception of my book came to be, The Visionary Parent, right? And I am so proud today that I did it. But let me tell you, on the way, it's not that I've been having a smooth writing journey. 2 years I've been writing this book, and finally on my kid's birthday, 4th April 2021, I released it. I published it. But on my way of my writing journey, I had so many inhibitions. Like some of them are, why would people read my book? What will people think of me if I write my book? Will my parents like it if I write my book? Or what will my in-laws think about it? I'm not capable enough to write a book. I felt like an imposter. I felt like an imposter of writing a book, right? So there were many days in between I left writing completely. I didn't feel motivated, but there was a moment when I decided that no, I have to publish this book. The reason why is what really kept me going is the end goal that I had kept for myself. I had one thing in my mind. Even if no one reads my book, right? I know I made a difference to my kid, and she will read it when she grows up and feel proud of me. So for those who are sitting on the fence, I would like to suggest you keep an emotional end goal, or write it for that one person who really matters to you the most and who would feel proud of you. Now, let's shift gears. Let me share with you a model which will help you understand why do we usually fail in achieving our goals and what can we do to achieve those goals. Okay, now I have my whiteboard. Is everyone able to see my whiteboard? Yes? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what usually happens is this visible? Is this visible?
I will get it later. Yeah, nearby.
Now it's fine.
Looks like an iceberg.
Yes, absolutely. So we all know
If
that
we can be spotlighted, then we'll see it better.
um, I don't have spotlight.
No. Spotlight means the.
You're pinned. Properly you're pinned. No, you're pinned.
Okay, fine. Yeah. You guys can see me, right? Okay. So we all know.
Spotlight her. Sorry.
Okay.
There's an option called spotlight. You can spotlight her.
Yeah, then she will be the only one on the screen that will get amplified.
Right.
Or if that's not possible, you guys can change gallery view to speaker view. That can be done.
Yep.
Okay, can I continue?
Yes, I think you can go on, Apurva.
Okay, fine. Yes. Awesome. So we all know this is an iceberg, right? Now we all know our brain is 10% conscious and 90% subconscious, right? And when we have a goal, like I want to write a book, that is one of the goals that we usually have. So the goal is here. This is our goal. But we all know that until and unless this goal goes to the subconscious, we are not able to achieve that, right? Now let's go deep into how this subconscious is, what all components this subconscious consists of. Now the very first thing, the lowest point is, what is it? It's the experience that we have as a human, okay? The experiences that we have as a human. This experience, we attach this experience with an emotion, okay? And experience plus the emotion become a belief. Now, if we have a belief that we can write a book, then we can write a book. But if we have a belief, some inhibitions that we cannot write a book or we cannot do certain tasks, then we for sure will not be able to achieve it. Okay. Now, after this belief comes the personality that we develop according to those beliefs. Okay. The personality then constitutes to the habits that we inculcate in us. Because of the personality, we inculcate certain habits. And this habit causes us to make some choices. Now, because of these choices, we take actions and make decisions. And according to these actions and decisions, we behave, or we have goals. Now, it is like whatever belief you will be having inside you will display the behavior, or you will understand if this goal is really going to be accomplished. Now, let me tell you what exactly happens. Why are we not able to reach here and change the belief? We all know like conscious and this is subconscious. But what happens is there is a filter. For all of us, there is a filter which filters out whatever thoughts or whatever goals we have for us. Now, let me give you an example. Suppose I have a goal that I want to become a millionaire. Okay, I want to become a millionaire. Now that thought comes to our conscious mind. It comes to this filter. And what is this filter made up of? This filter is made up of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. P. If all these three are in congruence, only then the thought or whatever you have to do or whatever actions you have to take will go into subconscious. But most of the times what happens? Our thoughts, what we are thinking, I want to write a book. Our emotions are telling us that, okay, I want to write my book, but actions are not telling that you want to write a book, right? We procrastinate. because of this filter, right? And what does this filter do? It expels this idea out of your system. And that's how you're not able to achieve this goal. That's the reason most of the times we set some goals for us and we are not able to achieve them, right? So there are two ways to achieve your goals. In order, now we know that we have to, go deep and we have to program our subconscious. Only then we'll be able to achieve it. Now there were two things that I did to change, because obviously even I had those inhibitions. I had those inhibitions, self-doubt, everything I had. But I overcame them with two things. The first is writing one emotional goal every single day to let it go into your subconscious. One emotional goal, if you, like I told, like one emotional goal that I had was that my kid will read it, right? Something that truly, truly matters to you. Write that goal every single day. And the second, which really helped me become a parenting coach or become successful in what I am doing right now, is the strangest secret. Now, most of you might be knowing this, but this particular podcast really, really changed my thought process, changed my life. I'll share it with you all. If Raj, can you just share this link with everyone? These two things really changed my life, changed my thought processes, and really made me write this book. Okay. Now, I would like to share a quote by Toni Morrison. If there's a book that you want to read, but it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. So I believe in it so truly. It's so true. And I would like to leave you with one thought. I think each and every one of us are authors from within, because you all have a story that only you can tell. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Apurva, that was awesome. If I can just say this much, that was awesome. I loved every word of yours. And I've done this clinical hypnosis level 1, and I've gone through all this, but you have explained this so beautifully and so clearly. I've heard this many, many times, but today is the clearest that I've heard this. Okay. And that filter is called the critical filter.
Critical filter, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
So thank you so much, Apurva, first of all. And I'm sure you will be on cloud 9 today, hearing those words from Brigadier. I'm sure it is like a dream come true for you. All right. So if I have to say T, wow, that is something that's going to stay in my mind. Beautifully, you have put that point. And yes, the main point, you should have that one person. So at least this is a starting point. See, slowly as we are progressing, you will have to just collate all the information together and get started with it. So have that one person in your mind for whom you're going to write this book. I'm sure we are going to have multiple authors at least by end of next year. All right. So with that said, every child is unique in his or own way, right? Agreed, right? And if we train them well at an early stage, we can have great leaders. So our next speaker is a leadership coach and is on a mission to create thousands and thousands of leaders for our country. Right? I'll say this. I'm in the process of reading this book, Leaders Eat Last. Such an amazing book. And next book is something Ladder to Leader. That is there in my list. So this speaker holds a finance and marketing. He's a Six Sigma practitioner and holds a green belt from India Institute Statistics. He's also a certified supply chain and operational management professional from Indian Institute of Management, Kashipur. So he Ladder to Leader, which is a guide for the leader within you. Please put your hands together to welcome Arjun Chandrasekhar. Over to you, Arjun.
Arjun, you're on mute.
Arjun, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I was thanking Radhika for the wonderful introduction. And I would like to start my talk with a quote. And I strongly believe in this quote because this has made a great change in my life. And the quote is this: if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk together. Now, this was a quote from Ratan Tata. And why I admire this quote is because after joining this community, I know the dream of writing a book came true. Thanks to each one of you all, because of your support, your guidance, and your nudge every time that I'm able to be an author of this book. So, glad to lead. Okay, to talk about how did the idea of writing a book struck me, right? I was in an interview, in a job interview, where all of a sudden the HR asked me a question. So, Arjun, what do you think? Where do you want to be yourself 5 years down the line? Now, well, I was prepared for my interviews. I was prepared for my interviews in the terms of roles and responsibilities I'm dealing with, and also for the job requirement. But this question was quite a bouncer. But I had no options. I had to answer that. And all of a sudden, that thought is stuck in my head was, I want to write a book. The interviewer was very impressive. She wanted to understand what topic it is. So she asked me what topic. So those were the days I was reading Robin Sharma. And I'm a strong believer of a fact that each one of us who are born will have one or the other leadership qualities. The soon you identify your leadership qualities, you can work on them, you can enrich those qualities, you can acquire new other qualities and be a very good leader. So this is my strong belief. And the answer to her question was leadership, on leadership. Things would have been different if I was rejected, but I was selected. And the spark which was in my heart of writing a book now becomes my boss's pressure. Every time I meet her, she used to ask me, Arjun, where is the book? When is it going to hit the market? So that was the day I started, okay, let me give a strong try and start writing. When I think of writing a book of 10,000 words or 20,000 words, it is too much of a task. Do I have the capability of thinking so much? Do I have the capability of tailoring all those words and making chapters? So I thought, okay, this would not be a right start. So let me start writing one-on lines. I started writing quotes on leadership. I first put them on my WhatsApp status, got feedback from few people, how it is going on, how are they able to resonate with the thoughts, right? And slowly I created a Facebook page, put all those quotes in the Facebook page, and this became a big repository for me when I started writing the book. So this is how I started writing the book. My journey toward the writing the book state was quite comfortable because I had established authors helping me out. There was a big community who was behind me to motivate me, nudge me whenever I'm going low, and help me wherever I'm required. So the entire process was quite smooth for me. But however, I felt there are 3 different challenges which I came across. Not just writing in a book. These challenges can come across to you in any point in time, right? For achieving any kind of goals, right? Let me talk about the first challenges. Let me narrate a story. So there is a friend close by. He's an admiring person. He always wants to do something extra in his life, make that extra part in his life, right? But this guy has 2 other very good friends of his. So one is a person who always wears a devil's advocate hat. You go and tell him something, he will ask you multiple whys. And if there is multiple whys, then you get into the root cause of the problem. Is it need of writing a book? What is the risk going to take? Now, at the end, the both would come to a conclusion that taking up this new challenge is not worth, and the idea was dropped. So this happened with this guy for a couple of times. At one day, I decided, okay, this guy is not fruitful. Let me talk to another friend. The other friend of his was a courageous guy. He wanted to help people. And I helped them achieve their dreams. Right? This was a third category of guy. Now, when he went to the third guy said, okay, what's your idea? They both sat, they both made some points, and that is the day they started implementing their thoughts. And from that day, they never looked back. So I'm not saying they're all successful.
Is it,
yeah.
Okay, I think there is some internet issue, looks like. Yeah, meanwhile, you all can just post your questions while we give some time.
He says, why do you want to take up risk?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Arjun, you're back now.
I am back?
Yeah. For a second, we lost you.
Okay. So I was saying the three characters of my story are in our body. The first character is our brain, which will have thoughts of doing something new. And he goes and talks to his comfort zone, which is second person. Now, this comfort zone is always a devil's advocate. He will never encourage you to take risk. Right? He always say, why do you want to take up risk? Why do you want to screw up your happy life? Stay calm, stay peaceful, chill. Now, the third person is our heart, which will always tell, no, show some courage, go and action it. So your thoughts has to meet your courage and not your comfort zone. So once your thoughts meet your comfort zone, your idea is killed. Let it meet your courage, you can at least action it. See, again, as you know, Apurva said, and Brigadier also said, you want to do is you're not looking for the end goal. You should look for the immediate process, right? Action, go ahead and action it. So the summary of this story is your heart and your brain should collaborate to ensure that there is some action. Okay, so the second biggest challenge which I came across was creativity. No, I am not a creative guy. As Radhika was telling, I am a Six Sigma guy who always deal with data, always facts. I cannot be creative, is what I usually believed. Okay, so let us all do a quick activity to understand what actually this creativity is. So Radhika, if you can allow all to chat, that would be great. Just for 5-10 seconds. Okay, let's all do this activity. What we
did that?
So if you can allow all to participate in chatting.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so let's all do this activity. So what we'll do now is we'll quickly close our eyes. We'll close our eyes. Okay, keep your mind calm. Kill all the thoughts that you have. And you're going to visualize something, which I'm going to say now. You're going to listen to me. You're only listening to my words. Okay, you're going to visualize something which you have never seen before, or never heard, or never learned. Okay, now you all can open your eyes, and in the chat box, can you all tell me what did you see?
Driving.
Did you all see something?
I was driving.
You are driving.
Okay.
Okay. Now here, what I'm trying to tell you here is most of us will not be able to see anything. Why? Because your brain is not working. You're trying to think of something which you have never seen, never heard, or never learned. Now, for a creativity, right, your brain has to work. Right? If your brain has to work, your brain needs some feed. Right? And the feed is your other sense organs. You should either see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, or feel it. Only then your brain can work. Right? Now, with these feeds, the brain can work. Now, you know how to get these feeds? There is a good saying in Kannada, which says, Desha sutbeku, kosha odbeku. The meaning of this is you have to travel around and you read literatures. Okay, these are literal meanings, but if you can translate it to the current generation, you can tell that you have to meet new people, get ideas, understand how they are doing. And when you talk about reading, you can read books, you can read literatures, if not podcast, listen to interviews, or feed your brains, feed all these thoughts in your brain. And your brain is a material, it's a thing which can easily programmed. Okay, and program your brain to connect the dots. Okay, when you can connect the dots with all these feeds, you will be able to create new things, right? So when I was reading the book, there are a lot of stories in my book, and all these stories were did not come like that. I started connecting few instances. So I picked up one incident from there and one incident from here. I started connecting these incidents, and then they became a good story, a really motivating story. So creativity is very easy. It's very easy. You just have to feed your brain and help your brain to connect these things. So once you're able to do this, creativity is just like this. Okay, so that's my second challenge which I came across. And the third important challenge. Okay, before me going to the third important challenge, right, let me break a myth. Okay, how many of you have heard about this story where a king tries to save his life, runs inside a cave, there he sees a spider trying to build his web? Most of us, yes? Okay, most of you have heard this story. because I personally don't like this story, to be honest. I'll tell you why. I heard this story when I was in grade 2 or grade 3, and from that day till today, the moral of the story has not changed. But everything around me has changed. The infrastructure has changed, the technology has changed, the people has changed. But what is the story telling? Try and try again till you succeed. How long? How long should I try? So we have to change this. We have to change this. We have to bring some science to it. Now, what is the science? What does the Newton third law says? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, right? Action leads to reaction, or action leads to results. Now, if you change your action, you'll get different results. So if you are planning to get different results in your life, change your actions. You'll get different results. Okay. If you are trying to write a book and trying to write a book early in the morning, trying to wake up at 4 to 8, if your schedule is, and if you're not been able to achieve that schedule, change it. Write it at the end of the day. Write from 11 to 12. Okay. And if you're thinking to write a book and still not done it, then you have to start writing it. Okay. So, so in order to get an action, you should have in order to get a result, you should have an action, but your actions are not yielding the results you're expecting, then you should change your actions. So that's my biggest challenge. I was not able to do whatever I was thinking because I was trying to do the same thing again and again. Then when I met this community, the first thing which I did was I was trying to write a book first, but after meeting this community, the first thing I did was I created the cover page. I put that cover page in the group. And then that was the first action that I did. And the second action that I did was I told everybody that I'm going to launch this book on my daughter's birthday. And when I look back at the calendar, right, I had just 2 months of time. And the day I posted the cover page and the date. But I was able to achieve it because the codes which I wrote for 2 years helped me a lot. That was the base for the entire thing. So quickly to sum up, the 3 things that we spoke about: your mind, your thoughts has to meet your heart, your courage. Right? That was the first thing. The second thing, creativity is easy. Feed your brain so that it can create things. And the third thing, do different to get different actions. So that's my time. Over to you, host.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Arjun. So yes, doing the same thing and expecting different results. Wow. So gave us good information on how to get started and what are the different challenges you remember when Arjun posted the cover page and told that I'm going to launch. So you don't have, but then you are committing yourself. So commitment, self-discipline, whatever Brigadier spoke, whatever Apurva spoke is very important. And you can see there is a pattern in all the authors. All right. So thank you so much, Arjun, for that. And now, what plans tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen? Let's take a break, right? Break in the sense, be here, be here. You can drink a glass of water, but yeah, put in the chat, what plans tomorrow? I want to hear something. All right, don't get scared. I'm not going to invite you to another summit or event. I just want to know. Shopping, Apurva says shopping. Who else? Some interesting things. Tell me. So for me, Sundays are self-care Sundays and planning day. I love planning. So I'm going to plan for the next week and of course the next month. That is my plan. And I'm going to relax. So what is your plan? Put some messages. I want to reach some. Someone says watching TV. Okay. Traveling. Very good. Okay. But yeah, be safe. Mind session, beach. I really miss that. Yes, Fifth, you can enjoy your beach. I will virtually enjoy being on the beach. Work on my book. Fantastic, Rama. Fantastic. So yes, Deepta, why don't you share what's your...
Yeah, sure. Sunday mainly is my family time. And I just check my kitchen and add a reminder to fill my pantry, Very difficult to remember all the items to be purchased. I really don't know how to fix this, Radhika. You just give any ideas you do for that.
This happens with me all the time. So I'll be like throughout the day, yes, you see, I have my planner, I have this book, I keep noting it down. In spite of that, I will miss out one or the other items. So yes, sometimes this feeling, though I look young, Yes, sometimes this feeling, it makes me feel as though I'm old, but no.
I can't send message
Our
to.
next speaker, who is an author of 3 books. Sorry, Tushar?
I'm not able to send message to everyone. It's only to the host. Can you please change
Yes.
that?
Yeah, same with me also. I'm only able to send to you.
We have enabled that option only for the host. You can just put the questions there, and then towards the end we will enable it for everyone. We don't want any distractions. That's the matter. All right, getting back, our next speaker is an author of 3 books, a memory and a speed coach. He has learned skills from great personalities such as Jim Quick, Tony Buzan, Dominic O'Brien, Aditi Singhal, Dr. Vinod Sharma, Rohini Mundra, and many more. So his book, Unleash Your Memory, Reinvigorate Your Brain, Learn Everything Faster, and Discover Your life. Can you guys hear me? Just a second. I'm going to mute everyone.
Can you mute everyone?
Yes, can you all hear me? Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. So yes, our next memory, reinvigorate your brain, learn anything faster, and discover your extraordinary life is simply amazing. I must say, I have attended his webinars, and yes, there is a little bit of improvement in me, but yes, I continue to attend the sessions in future as well. So please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Chakradhar Dixit. Over to you.
Unmute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Radhika and Dipta. And I'm very happy to be here. And as you said, you have already given me a pressure that I have to teach you all a shopping list. So don't worry, you'll get that. So before that, I want to start with something like why I have been started writing a book, first of all. So as we all have the same situation, some time back, I was thinking that my life is not good enough. I may go and help my father in his small business and start the farming business. And about 1 year back, I was about to become a farmer. Can you believe I was about to become a farmer? Then one day I started listening podcast, and I was listening one podcast with the name 7 Good Minutes. And in that podcast, they were talking about some
quotes in the Facebook page, and this became a big repository for me when I started writing the book. So this is how I started writing the book. My journey toward the writing the book state was quite comfortable because I had established authors helping me out. There was a big community who was behind me to motivate me, nudge me whenever I'm going low, and help me wherever I'm required. So the entire process was quite smooth for me. But however, I felt there are 3 different challenges which I came across. Not just writing in a book. These challenges can come across to you in any point in time, right? For achieving any kind of goals, right? Let me talk about the first challenges. Let me narrate a story. So there's a friend close by. He's an admiring person. He always wants to do something extra in his life, make that extra part in his life, right? But this guy has 2 other very good friends of his. So one is a person who always wears a devil's advocate hat. You go and tell him something, he will ask you multiple whys. And if there is multiple whys, then you get into the root cause of the problem. Is it need of writing a book? What is the risk going to take? Now, at the end, they both would come to a conclusion that taking up this new challenge is not worth, and the idea was dropped. So this happened with this guy for a couple of times. At one day, I decided, okay, this guy is not fruitful. Let me talk to another friend. The other friend of his was a courageous guy. He wanted to help people. And I helped them achieve their dreams. Right? This was the third category of guy. Now, when he went to the third guy said, okay, what's your idea? They both sat, they both made some points, and that is the day they started implementing their thoughts. And from that day, they never looked back. So I'm not saying they're all successful.
Is it,
yeah.
Okay, I think yeah, there is some internet issue, looks like. Yeah, meanwhile, you all can just post your questions while we give some time.
He says, why do you want to take up risk?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, Arjun, you're back now.
I am back?
Yeah, for a second we lost you.
Okay. So I was saying the three characters of my story are in our body. The first character is our brain, which will have thoughts of doing something new. And he goes and talks to his comfort zone, which is second person. Now, this comfort zone is always a devil's advocate. He will never encourage you to take risk. Right? He always say, why do you want to take up risk? Why do you want to screw up your happy life? Stay calm, stay peaceful, chill. Now, the third person is our heart, which will always tell, no, show some courage, go and action it. So your thoughts has to meet your courage and not your comfort zone. So once your thoughts meet your comfort zone, your idea is killed. Let it meet your courage, you can at least action it. See, again, as you know, Apurva said, and Brigadier also said, you want to do is you're not looking for the end goal. You should look for the immediate process, right? Action, go ahead and action it. So the summary of this story is your heart and your brain should collaborate to ensure that there is some action. Okay, so the second biggest challenge which I came across was creativity. Now, I am not a creative guy. As Radhika was telling, I am a Six Sigma guy who always deal with data, always facts. I cannot be creative, is what I usually believed, okay? So let us all do a quick activity to understand what actually this creativity is. So Radhika, if you can allow all to chat, that would be great. Just for 5-10 seconds. Okay, let's all do this activity. What we
did that?
So if you can allow all to participate in chatting.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so let's all do this activity. So what we'll do now is we'll quickly close our eyes. We'll close our eyes. Okay, keep your mind calm. Kill all the thoughts that you have. And you're going to visualize something, which I'm going to say now. You're going to listen to me. You're only listening to my words. Okay, you're going to visualize something which you have never seen before, or never heard, or never learned. Okay, now you all can open your eyes, and in the chat box, can you all tell me what did you see?
Driving.
Did you all see something?
I was driving.
You are driving.
Okay.
Okay. Now here, what I'm trying to tell you here is most of us will not be able to see anything. Why? Because your brain is not working. You're trying to think of something which you have never seen, never heard, or never learned. Now, for a creativity, right, your brain has to work. Right? If your brain has to work, your brain needs some feed. Right? And the feed is your other sense organs. You should either see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, or feel it. Only these feeds, the brain can work. Now, you know how to get these feeds? There is a good saying in Kannada, which says, Desha sutbeku, kosha odbeku. The meaning of this is you have to travel around and you read literatures. Okay, these are literal meanings, but if you can translate it to the current generation, you can tell that you have to meet new people, get ideas, understand how they are doing. And when you talk about reading, you can read books, you can read literatures, if not podcast, listen to interviews, or feed your brains, feed all these thoughts in your brain. And your brain is in okay, and program your brain to connect the dots. Okay, when you can connect the dots with all these feeds, you will be able to create new things, right? So when I was reading the book, there are a lot of stories in my book, and all the stories were did not come like that. I started connecting few instances. So I picked up one incident from there and one incident from here. I started connecting these incidents, and then they became a good story, a really motivating story. So creativity is very easy. It's very easy. You just have to feed your brain and help your brain to connect these things. So once you're able to do this, creativity is just like this. Okay, so that's my second challenge which I came across. And the third important challenge. Okay, before me going to the third important challenge, right? Let me break a myth. Okay, how many of you have heard about this story where a king tries to save his life, runs inside a cave, there he sees a spider trying to build his web? Most of us, yes? Okay, most of us have heard this story because I personally don't like this story, to be honest. I'll tell you why. I heard this story when I was in grade 2 or grade 3, and from that day till today, the moral of the story has not changed. But everything around me has changed. The infrastructure has changed, the technology has changed, the people have changed. But what is the story telling? Try and try again till you succeed. How long? How long should I try? So we have to change this. We have to change this. We have to bring some science to it. Now, what is the science? What does the Newton third law says? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, right? Action leads to reaction, or action leads to results. Now, if you change your action, you'll get different results. So if you are planning to get different results in your life, change your actions. You'll get different results. Yeah. Okay. If you are trying to write a book and trying to write a book early in the morning, trying to wake up at 4 to 8, if your schedule is, and if you're not been able to achieve that schedule, change it. Write it at the end of the day. Write from 11 to 12. Okay. And if you're thinking to write a book and still not done it, then you have to start writing it. Okay. So, you know, in order to get a result, you should have an action, but your actions are not yielding the results you're expecting, then you should change your actions. So that's my biggest challenge. I was not able to do whatever I was thinking because I was trying to do the same thing again and again. Then when I met this community, the first thing which I did was I was trying to write a book first, but after meeting this community, the first thing I did was I created the cover page. I put that cover page in the group. And then that was the first action that I did. And the second action that I did was I told everybody that I'm going to launch this book on my daughter's birthday. And when I look back at the calendar, right, I had just 2 months of time. And the day I posted the cover page and the date. But I was able to achieve it because the course which I wrote for 2 years helped me a lot. That was the base for the entire thing. So quickly to sum up, the 3 things that we spoke about: your mind, your thoughts has to meet your heart, your courage. Right? That was the first thing. The second thing, creativity is easy. Feed your brain so that it can create things. And the third thing, do different to get different actions. So that's my time. Over to you, host.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Arjun. So yes, doing the same thing and expecting different results. Wow. So gave us good information on how to get started and what are the different challenges you remember when Arjun posted the cover page and told that I'm going to launch. So you don't have, but then you are committing yourself. So commitment, self-discipline, whatever Brigadier spoke, whatever Apurva spoke is very important. And you can see there is a pattern in all the authors. All right. So thank you so much, Arjun, for that. And now, what plans tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen? Let's take a break, right? Break in the sense, be here, be here. You can drink a glass of water, but yeah, put in the chat, what plans tomorrow? I want to hear something. All right, don't get scared. I'm not going to invite you to another summit or event. I just want to know. Shopping, Apurva says shopping. Who else? Some interesting things. Tell me. So for me, Sundays are self-care Sundays and planning day. I love planning. So I'm going to plan for the next week and of course the next month. That is my plan. And I'm going to relax. So what is your plan? Put some messages. I want to read some. Someone says watching TV. Okay. Traveling. Very good. Okay. But yeah, be safe. Mind session, beach. I really miss that. Yes, Fifth, you can enjoy your beach. I will virtually enjoy being on the beach. Work on my book. Fantastic, Roma. Fantastic. So yes, Deepta, why don't you share what's your...
Yeah, sure. Sunday mainly is my family time. And I just check my kitchen and add a reminder to fill my pantry, Very difficult to remember all the items to be purchased. I really don't know how to fix this, Radhika. You just give any ideas you do for that.
This happens with me all the time. So I'll be like throughout the day, yes, you see, I have my planner, I have this book, I keep noting it down. In spite of that, I will miss out one or the other items. So yes, sometimes this feeling, though I look young, yes, sometimes this feeling, it makes me feel as though I'm old. But no,
I can't send message
our next
to.
speaker, who is an author of 3 books. Sorry, Tushar?
I'm not able to send message to everyone. It's only to the host. Can you please change
Yes.
that?
Yeah, same with me also. I'm only able to send to you.
We have enabled that option only for the host. You can just put the questions there, and then towards the end we will enable it for everyone. We don't want any distractions. That's the matter. All right, getting back, our next speaker is an author of 3 books, a memory and a speed coach. He has learned skills from great personalities such as Jim Quick, Tony Buzan, Dominic O'Brien, Aditi Singhal, Dr. Vinod Sharma, Rohini Mundra, and many more. So his book, Unleash Your Memory, Reinvigorate Your Brain, Learn Everything Faster, and Discover Your life. Can you guys hear me? Just a second. I'm going to mute everyone.
Can you mute everyone?
Yes, can you all hear me? Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. So yes, our next memory, reinvigorate your brain, learn anything faster, and discover your extraordinary life is simply amazing. I must say, I have attended his webinars, and yes, there is a little bit of improvement in me, but yes, I continue to attend the sessions in future as well. So please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Chakradhar Dixit. Over to you.
Unmute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Radhika and Aditya. And I'm very happy to be here. And as you said, you have already given me a pressure that I have to teach you all a shopping list. So don't worry, you'll get that. So before that, I want to start with something like why I have been started writing a book, first of all. So as we all have the same situation, some time back, I was thinking that my life is not good enough. I may go and help my father in his small business and start the farming business. And about 1 year back, I was about to become a farmer. Can you believe I was about to become a farmer? Then one day I started listening podcast, and I was listening one podcast with the name 7 Good Minutes. And in that podcast, they were talking about some memory techniques. So I thought, let's give it a try. What is in it? So he was talking about a memory coach. His name is Jim Quick. I was not knowing that. The name itself is very simple name. Nobody can even, if you heard it first time, you're not going to say that he's some coach or somebody. But then when he shared his technique, I was totally, I'm amazed with the way he's told that technique. And I'm going to tell you that technique, what he has told. So he had told that how to memorize list of 10 items. It could be a shopping list. It could be anything, fruits or something. So he has given, I'll tell you that technique right now. He told that if you have 10 items like avocados, blueberries, broccoli, coconut oil, eggs, then green leafy vegetables, salmon fish, then turmeric, walnut, and dark chocolate. 10 items. Can you be able to remember all 10? That to be in sequence. And if I'll ask you in reverse order, will you be able to do that? Yes or no? Thumbs up?
No. Very difficult.
Okay. So I'll tell you one technique. And his technique is called body list. He has used his body to remember all 10 items. how he said that. See the power of imagination, power of visualization. What he said, you can think of that avocados are coming out of your top of your head. Avocado tree is coming from top of your head. Blueberries are coming out of your nose. Hot broccoli, boiled broccoli is coming out of your mouth. You are putting coconut oil in your ear. You are applying egg yolk on your larynx, voice box. Are you with me? 5 items I've covered till now. Then green leafy vegetables on your shoulder. Then you are wearing a necklace. Ladies can understand that you are wearing a necklace, but the necklace is of salmon fish. Then next, your hand is completely yellow. Why? Because you have applied turmeric on it. Your hand is dipped into turmeric paste. Then you have to imagine that you have a stomachache and you are applying walnut paste on it. You are applying walnut paste on it. And finally, your toes are dipped into dark chocolate. So I have covered top of your head, nose, mouth, ear, larynx, shoulder, clavicle or your necklace, where you wear your necklace, then fingers, stomach and toes. By using this 10 places, you can remember these 10 items. Can you remember now? Will you able to remember all 10 items? Radhika, Dipta, will you able to do your shopping easily now?
Yeah, better, Chakra.
Yeah, thank you. So purpose short. Okay. So this is what my feeling was also at that time, that I also can remember anything. And by knowing this technique, he has shared a lot many techniques. He has shared association technique, then he has shared memory palace technique, phonetic sound method. So after knowing all those techniques, I was little curious what memory techniques are and does it work? And mind it actually works. I actually read multiple books after going through his techniques. I've read books from Shakuntala Devi. I've read books from Tony Buzon, Domenico Brown. Everybody is telling one or the same methods, and those methods actually works. So I was like, I'll tell this to the whole world. I'm going to teach it to everybody. I started telling each and everybody, my friend, my son, my wife. So they were like, yeah, techniques are good, but then what to do once you know those techniques, how you're going to apply those techniques. So I was like, yeah, if the techniques are good, definitely there has to be some application. So I started searching for the application, started reading the books. And then I found that there are n number of techniques. And again, I came back. Again, I started teaching them. So they are like, yeah, application is good, but then how you're going to tell it to everybody? So I thought there has to be some way by which you can tell it to everybody. So I put it on Facebook, then Insta, then YouTube, but then nobody was taking it seriously. Like everybody says, first put your videos and then write your book. But then for me, it has happened other way around. I have written my book first and then I started making videos. So what I did, I have I've taken classes from one of the coaches, and she said that you should write a book. So I said, writing a book is not some kale. How can you do that? How you can write a book? So I started searching for coaches who can coach me how to write a book. So I met an authorpreneur. He called himself Authorpreneur, means he is a coach who tell people how to write it. And he told me that you can write a book in 30 days. I was like, nahi yaar, not possible. No one can write in 30 days. So I thought, let's try it. Such mein, maybe we can do that. So I first took his webinar. So he was sharing awesome techniques. Those techniques were like, you can start writing from tomorrow itself. But then I taken his level 1 course. So first lecture, second lecture, third lecture. After 10 lectures, I was like, now I can start writing and I'll write that book in 30 days. But then after 11 or 12, means marketing and everything, as Brigadier has said or Apurva has said, marketing is too tough. So everything was so costly at that time. I was like, nahi yaar, marketing to I can't do. So finally, I thought, let's write that book first. We'll figure out how marketing should I can do. So I started writing that book. So I've written my first draft as you suggested. I've completed my first draft in 15 days. Then uh, then I completed my second draft, third draft, and final draft in next 10 days. Then next challenge is editing, proofreading. So I found out one of the friend from that authors group only, and I asked her how to edit your book or proofread your book. So she told me, give it to me, no, I'll do it. So I thought, okay, yeah, she may be knowing it better. So I shared with her. She said, I'll do it in 3 days. So I tried to search out everywhere. Does it happen in 3 days? So I got it, yeah, within 36 hours or maximum in a week, people do the editing thing. So she did it in 2 days time and given it back to me. So I was not knowing what editing is. So, but then she has taught me that why you shouldn't give your book for editing. You shouldn't give your book for editing. You can edit your book by yourself only. Because what she had did, if I'll tell you, you'll not believe. What she did, she used Grammarly app and seen every mistakes from that app and marked and given it back to me.
Grammarly, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Grammarly.
Yes. So after getting that book, and she purposely told me that don't use Grammarly app. Grammarly app is not going to work. And she had did that only. I've later on found out that she had did that only run the whole manuscript on a Grammarly app and given me all the mistakes and asked me to even see. She asked me to change. She even not changed those spelling mistakes or sentences, whatever were wrong. So I thought maybe it will be working like this only. So the next challenge was cover page. So I was not ready with my cover page till 25th day. After writing my first draft, completing second, third, fourth draft, ready with my editing, my cover was not ready till 25th to 28th day. So then I started finding about where I can get a good cover. And then I found Fiverr.com. So on Fiverr.com, you'll get a lot of freelancers who actually design cover for you. Fiverr.com. It's Fiverr. Means actually when they formed that site, people were only charging $5. That's why the name of that site is Fiverr.com. So you'll get a lot of freelancers there, and they design your book. Means you, whatever I was expecting as a cover of my book, I have shared them 3 covers, and he has come up with the exactly same thing which I was wanted. So it is that strong. So you should try that. Then after doing that, the next challenge was where to publish. So as the authorpreneur coach or author coach has told me, I have did it self-publishing on KDP, that is Kindle Direct Publishing. And when I published that book, my book was live. And for 2 months, I was not knowing that I have not even uploaded the back cover of that book. And that book was live and people were buying that book. So one day, one of my friends called me and he said, "Arey yaar, tera back cover to book mein hai hi nahi. Only your photo is there and there's no back cover." So I thought, aisa kaise ho gaya yaar? It cannot happen. Let me see. So then I have gone on that website. I found out how to do the back cover designing. I did it myself and then uploaded it again. After 2 months, I have uploaded my back cover. Can you imagine that? It's that easy. KDP platform is that easy. Your book is live. You can sell it without back cover also. Okay. Yeah. So this is the story of my first book. Then second book. Second book was really a challenge. It was really a challenge for me. I completed that book in 90 days. People write book in a year or 2 years. But then for me, 90 days is also too much of a time. When I started writing that book in 30 days, I have almost written half of, means I have, as the Brigadier sir has said, you have to write a table of content, you have to finalize what you're going to write. I had all the things in my mind, but then I wasn't able to write after writing half of that book, that writer's block. I was holding it back. So one day, my better half, my wife told me, "Yaar, kyun pakad ke baithe ho usko? Why you're not writing it? Why you're not completing it? Complete it and release it." Na? So I thought, ideas hi nahi aa rahe. I'm not getting any ideas. Kaisa karu? So she said, you can do that. So I was like, if she's believing in me more than me, so why shouldn't I try it once? So I started writing again. So I started writing 1,000 words daily, 1,000 words daily. And within 15 days, I've completed that book. And I was knowing all the procedure, how to get the cover page, back cover, editing. I did editing by myself on Grammarly and uploaded the second book on KDP after that. And then third book was really a cakewalk. I had all the ideas how to write a book, and within 20 days, I have uploaded that book. Can you believe that within 20 days, I have uploaded my third book? Writing, editing, everything within 20 days. So this is all about my author journey. This is what I have did. Yeah. So this is the part which is being as I've told you, this is my author journey. Other than that, I'm also a memory coach and speed reading coach. I'm giving, I'm teaching students on different platforms like BitClass, and there are other platforms also like Nourish. So this is what I do. And thank you very much for giving me time and for your patience and for listening me for so much time. And one last thing, if anybody want help, maybe I may not be looking that confident, but then I have written 3 books and I have uploaded. You can see that those 3 books, those are on Amazon. So if you need any kind of help in writing a book or publishing a book, I can do that. I can help you with this. Okay. So with this, thank you very much. And over to you, Dipta and Radhika.
And he's really very good in that. Whenever we go and ask for help to him, he renders it. He makes time for that.
Means a lot, means a lot. Thank you.
When I was writing that poem, so many would have seen, he has answered me all the questions, whatever I put on him. So
Great.
yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you so much, Chakradhar. First of all, put in the chat how many of you were in are in a state like Chakra, where you have absolutely no clue how to get started. Just put. Let me see if there are a few people. So for me, yes, because I have attended his session, I have a good amount of knowledge now. But then otherwise, anybody, yes. Okay, before first book, okay, you were like that. All right. So Ram says, yes, definitely, Ram, I would open up the chat. We just have some more time. Just please bear with me. All right. How do I pronounce? Keynote. All right. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, but he says he has no idea. So what I'm trying to say here is, someone like Chakradhar, before his 3 books, he had absolutely no idea. Yet he has published 3 books. And I'm telling you, yes, his last statement, right? He mentioned, I may seem not so experienced, but yes, I did publish 3 books. So he is a person whom you can easily approach, and I think is there to just help people. So this is the beauty of STC community. Today, if I know how to go about publishing, which is publishing marketing, this is a challenge, as everybody has been saying. If I know about it, then it is because of the knowledge that I have gathered from all these people. Thank you so much, Chakradhar, for that. It was a really motivating and definitely, you know, all these things gives me an inspiration. Just go ahead. Soon after this meeting, I'm going to go pick my notebook and just write something. That is what I am committing to all of you right now. All right, with that said, our next speaker is an AI evangelist and the co-founder of Cellstrat. He's also the founder of Disrupt 4.0, a community development initiative around emerging technologies, bringing in 4th industrial revolution. So he's done thought leadership, blogging, and content creation on topics related to IoT, enterprise mobility, and location technologies. He was a university national finalist for, national level business competition in Australia in 2001. He has an MBA from Western Sydney University, Australia. So his book, Leveraging AI for Business Success, there he speaks about what is AI, what it is, what it can do, what it can't do, how to adopt it and benefit from it by leveraging AI in your business. So he's on a mission to train 100,000 kids in the next 3 years in AI. AI evangelist. Suppose if I have to share what is AI, then if I say some technical words and all those things, I think most of you would say, bye-bye, Radhika. But what he has done, this is the beauty of this, our next speaker. He has written it in such a way that any layman would understand. So please put your hands together to welcome Vishal Singhal.
Thank you, Radhika. Thank you. So, great introduction. So first, I would like to ask everybody if you can tell me the responses on chat. Who is? What do you mean by an author? Any responses? You have frozen.
Okay, I have opened the chat now. You can just type.
So, as per you, who is an author? Any responses? Storyteller. Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead with it. So as per Wikipedia, okay, strong imagination, someone who writes. So as per Wikipedia, author is not only writer. Author is a creator, a person who causes something to grow or someone to grow. So we all here, all of us authors or aspiring authors are creators of sorts, right? So if you have any idea in mind, don't let them die. If you don't know what to write, and as most of the people are saying what to write, you may try creating few videos of 2 to 5 minutes and post them on your LinkedIn or YouTube or social media. Let views come in, let feedback come in, let comments come in. You'll get a lot of negative and positive feedback, and try to see which topics are getting most views, most comments, most feedback. Pick up those ideas and put them, try to order them as per your niche into chapters or topics that you would like to cover in a book. So I follow a international speaker named Frederick Heron. He says video is the new book. So well, I've started doing that now, but before that, I had written the book already. So he says that if you write a book in 3,300 hours, only possibly 30 people will be finally commenting on or giving you feedback. But if you create those videos, you will be getting huge number of views, reviews, feedback, comments, etc. So if you write a book after that, that will become your best output to the world, and then you can use the same fan following for sales of those books. So I became a creator of my book by leveraging AI for business success by first creating a streamlined thought process, which I developed while going to conferences for speaking and panel discussions, keynote speeches, etc. So every time I was faced with same question, you are talking big about AI. How should we as a company of 5, 10, 500 people or 1,000 people adopt AI as a business process? So, and I was meeting after every event, I was meeting a friend of mine who's also a professional speaker, and he used to say, every event you go to, you talk about same questions coming to you. Why don't you write a book around? So I was taken aback as to how can I write a book, as everybody has given thoughts on that. So, but he really motivated me. He said that if you write that book, all future speeches on this topic will become a cakewalk. It will become like back of your hand. You will not have to think or create a speech. Your book will be your speech content. I started writing that book around April of 2019. A lot of procrastination went, and I took almost 15 months. And it was unfortunate for me, but I ended up launching that book on August 1st in 2020, which was a pandemic time. So I had a lot of plans that I'll go to top 10 cities of India to promote it and all those kind of things, as Brigadier said. But I could not do all of that. But as Brigadier also said that if you are able to take out whatever expenses you do on it, it's well worth a try. And within first month or two of writing that book, I had taken all of that out. I got 3 or 4 paid engagements, and I got all of that out. Because book writing is a authority establisher, not a sales revenue generation. So don't think about sales revenue creation by writing a book. That may come maybe with your 5th or 6th book, as Brigadier was able to do that, but with a lot of marketing, as also said. So, but also I thought that this is possibly my first and last book, and I was spending almost 15 months. After 12 months, I was thinking that I have already spent about 12 months to write a book, and I don't know how much it will go more beyond that. So I should be designing it beautifully well, and I should be possibly going for international distribution. So I selected a NID graduate, National Institute of Design graduate in Ahmedabad. So she had done some book designing earlier, but she was not very confident. But we both belong to a Buddhist philosophy, Soka Gaggai. So that's what connected us. And I told her my thoughts. She gave some ideas, and I just wanted a designer to have whole of design elements in place. So that's why I chose that NID graduate. And we put that lotus symbol of that Soka Gaggai philosophy itself on the book, but with mural designs. So this was the design that came out. And I have included mural design into the lotus itself. And I have got a lot of appreciation for that. So a book well designed is well seen. So that's what has been my process. And since I thought it was my first and last book, and still I think that I may not be able to write a book again because it has taken my eyes. My power has gone up. So so I thought I'll go with an NID graduate designer. And then also I will suggest, although Chakradhar already said that we should not take an editor, you can edit your book. Yes, you can. But again, as my first or last book, I thought I was suggested by my father, who has been a prof in IIT Roorkee as well as some others, that you should take an external editor because you never know what additional value they will bring. So so my original book was about 100 pages of content. When I brought this additional external editor, he almost added 60 pages of content to that. He added the whole index, bibliography, referencing, a lot of design aspects, and a lot of things which I had not thought of earlier. So it became a 160-page book and complete in its whole sense. He helped me design the cover page as well as the back page. So whole of the content was edited line by line, word by word on phone call, because it was pandemic. I could not go to his place, and he's in a different city. So I was sitting with him almost for 2 to 3 hours daily on phone, and we were going line by line, word by word. He was telling me this is wrong or that is wrong, do this or do that. So that was a very exercise, very enriching exercise, I would say. So always hire an external editor for doing editing work, right? Now, there are different ways of publishing, as Chakra said, as Brigadier said. So I spoke to numerous authors and like both popular, well-known authors as well as self-published authors as well as art creators. And they said that whom are you writing this book for, and whom, what do you think, who will be actually reading this book? Who is your audience? You have to think like that, as well as, do you want this book to go international, or do you want this to go to only Indian audience? Do you want only students to read it, or do you want executives to also read it? Do you want it to become a reference book picked up by all, or do you want it to be exclusive to senior executives, because you're talking about AI here? So that made me think a lot. And as I said, there are different ways of publishing. So you can go with self-publishing authoring companies. Then you can go with self-publisher plus yourself as well as publisher amalgamation, or you can go with a popular publisher. So I tried writing to likes of John Wiley, Rupa Publication, PHP, Prentice all of them. And I think 8 or 9 of them, I waited for almost 4 or 5 months before I came to know that all these publishers get almost a script a day. So even to give you acceptance or rejection, they will take sometimes 8 months. And I was losing patience, and I was thinking that if I have spent already about 12 to 13 months, if I wait for more, probably this topic will go out of trend. Although this topic is not going out of trend for next 10 years also, but still I was losing patience there. So I gave up on that, and then I again asked my friend, professional speaker Vikas, and he said that you should go with a publisher who has international reach if you wanted to go international. So I chose Notion Press. So although Brigadier said you may or may not choose, but it has come out beautifully well, and it depends upon what package you choose. So you may hire a coach and spend on them, or you may hire a good publisher like Notion. I would say I have recommended quite a few people to them, and they have ended up publishing there because they have various packages, right from free to very premium packages. I took a middle one. I spent about with designing with an external designer, with editor coming from outside, and with all the publishing, I have spent about 35,000 rupees. And this book has gone international. I have got same number of buyers from India as from US, Japan, Italy, Europe put together. So I've got 5-star reviews. I've got Amazon, Flipkart, and many other e-commerce portals listings. Then Kindle version is there, ebook is there, copyright is there, ISBN is there. So my friend said, if you want it to be searchable, it has to have ISBN. Without that, it will not be searchable online, or not so easily. So I went with Notion Press, and this book came out on August 1st, 2020. In first month, it gave me 3 or 4 speaking engagements purely out of LinkedIn, and it has paid all of my expenses for at least for the book part. I don't know how much it will sell, but it is being picked up as a reference book, and people have given good reviews. So check out my book, Leveraging AI for Business Success, on any of the e-commerce portals, and I would appreciate any feedback. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vishal. So let me tell you one thing, not all fingers are same, right? So this is the beauty of having all the authors together. For all the aspiring authors, you can just hear them out and pick all the points, and then finally you can take your own call. So Vishal, though, yes, you mentioned that you wrote your book and you're not planning to, but then I am happy to, I want to congratulate you that your book has been picked as a reference book, in fact, globally. So that is very good, and in fact, very encouraging. So give it a thought. Why not? So yes, eyesight is one thing. We all will check. So maybe you were into it, but then what we can do is just to take care of our health as well. Maybe a
Bas, finished.
Sorry, Umesh, can you please go on mute? All right. So what I was saying was, maybe just a second. I think he is having some difficulty. And all right. Okay. So thank you, Umesh. Thank you for muting. So what I was saying was, maybe, you know, if you are planning to write, I know you will get into it once you're almost there, right? So day in and day out, I think you will just engage your time in writing. But yeah, take care of your eyesight as well. Maybe limit yourself. At the end of 1 hour, take a break. Don't just continuously start writing 4 hours, 5 hours. I know this is one thing which is a challenging factor, but do keep in mind. All right. So with that said, we all are aspiring authors, isn't it? And we all have our own preference. So now that I have enabled chat, can you all go ahead and tell me what is your preference? What genre do you like the most? If you have to write, what books would you write about? I will read out for you. Let's make it a little quick. Yes. So should I start? Self-help books. I think I would write that. Life Single sir says life experience, non-fiction, children. Fifth already has a question around that. We will take in the question and answer session. Storybooks, mythology, very good. What are the genres? What genres? Maybe one or two more. Healthy living, essence of living, spirituality, okay. No one prefers comedy here? No comedy? It's good. All right. So our next speaker, just okay, suspense thriller. Yeah, that was something I was looking for. It is really nice, suspense thriller. Yes. Humor. I like it. Yes, humor. So it will just refresh your mind. Such books are really, really nice. Yes, Biff, maybe we will look forward to it. All right. So our next speaker considers himself as an entertainer whose brain is stuffed with stories, rap songs, brand trivia, etc. So all these imagination he puts together into content. See, you can just go ahead. Anybody can write. You just need to have the desire to write. That's all. So he's an active networker, community manager, and a mental health promoter. His book, Love at First Print. Oh my God, listening to it itself, I'm like, I just want to read it now. So his book, Love at First Print, is a romantic comedy novel. So please put your hands together to welcome Tushar Raj.
Thank you everyone for having me. A very good evening to everyone. I would like to start my speech with a small story about a human psychological term. Have you heard about the term chained elephant syndrome? Chained elephant syndrome is a concept in which when a small elephant is brought to a circus, it is chained by a long chain of made of by a long chain put which has been pegged into concrete. And as soon as the elephant grows up, the same elephant is the same rope, the same chain is removed, is replaced by a simple jute rope. But the Mahavat or the elephant trainer has captured or has chained the elephant's mind that it is not strong enough to break the chain. Sometimes these types of feelings are also happening inside us as well, inside humans, because in our early days, if we are regularly told about that you are skinny, you are fat, or you're dark skinned, anything, so that gets stuck in your mind. So Love at First Print is a romantic comedy novel which I started writing in 2016. I wrote it alongside while I was doing my MBA. So remember in the childhood days, we used to get those drawing books where we had to we used to get those drawing books with dots on it, and whenever we join the dots, some kind of imaginative animal or picture gets created, like a bird or a lion. Similarly, I have used some small snippets and from my own personal life, and then I have added some Bollywood masala and some fictional plot lines to the story, and that's how I've created this novel, Love at First Print. Although it's a romantic comedy, but this does not this deals with the new types of problems which millennials like us face in our relationships, which can be breakups, insecurities, and all those things. And how do you break those chains and how do you come out as a winner, is how the story goes. So I have put in a bit of comedy as well. uh, I took some time to develop the characters, and I've tried to add characters from all across our country to make the book more engaging for the audience. For the editing part, I also use Grammarly, mostly for Grammarly. And if you look inside my book, so I've used, sorry, one second. So I have used some symbols, and I've also used the strategy of going of flashback chapters. So the story keeps going forward and backward. So that's something about the book. I am an active writer on Quora, where I was able to meet some more authors like Divyansh Mundra and Jayant Chiranjan Mundra, who are also authors, and they have put some good content on their pages uh, where they share their where they share uh, knowledge about the publishing industry. My book was published by Art Fund, but KDP, as the other members have mentioned, is a much better feature to is a more simple and more practical feature to publish your novel, specifically if it's your first novel. A few pointers I would like to give for your for promoting a novel is that if it's a romantic comedy or if it's into fiction, you can try to place some of your copies at popular cafes of your city, and people can read those books there as well, and they might share stories about it. Uh, and also small trivia about my book. So I have used Frank Sinatra's quote in the book, which basically means don't hide your scars, they make you who you are. So if you have had struggles in your life, if you have had a bad phase, you don't have to completely hide it, because that's a part of your personality, that's a part of your persona now. That would be all from my end. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Tushar. It was really wonderful. We had an awesome experience about your journey. It was really too good. Over to you, Radhika.
Yeah, thank you so much, Deepta. And thank you so much, Tushar. So maybe my question to you, I will start also immediately after this is question and answers. So make sure to put your questions in the chat. The chat collected all the questions, but before that, I think I will start this question with you, Tushar. How did you manage to write while you were studying? So why don't you just tell us about it?
So Radhika, basically, I luckily had one more batchmate of mine who was writing a book, and I used to write towards the end of my classes. Some part of it had been written previously, but the ending chapters of my book I used to write after my lectures were over, sitting on my hostel room, writing on my laptop or a desktop. But that peer support group was there because somebody else was also writing his novel, so we both were able to gel together well and write the novel together.
Awesome. So you know, Tushar is a great example. You don't have to be in you don't have to start working and then only write your book. As a student also, you can just start writing and get your book published. It feels so good, right? Somebody, I don't know, once you start attending interviews or so, and when you publish my book, oh my God, I can't even imagine. I never even thought about writing a book when I was doing my college. Yeah, thank you so much, Rashad. I'm sure you would have motivated and inspired at least college students. All right. So the floor is now open for question and answers. I am going to ask questions, and whoever is comfortable can just share your answers. So keeping time in mind, and also the questions that we have got from participants, I have consolidated it. So I will get started. This is something which is common which I've got, and we have also consolidated from people. Yeah, the question is, where do you get your ideas? Say anybody, whoever wants to say, can just start speaking. Where do you get your ideas?
Yeah. So Radhika, if I talk about me, I've got my first idea from the podcast. So I still listen a lot of podcasts. Like I listen Jim Quick's Quick Brain, I listen Hidden Brain. I listen most of the podcasts on brain itself. So I get my ideas from then and there itself, and I start writing my book. I started writing by listening a podcast called 7 Good Minutes, and after that I started listening all the podcasts related to brain. Like I've explained already, that Hidden Brain and then Quick Brain. So this is where I get my ideas. Yeah.
Can you name the podcast again? Can you?
Yeah, it's Quick Brain and Hidden Brain.
Quick Brain and
Quick. KWIK, Quick Brain, and Hidden, HIEEN, Hidden, we all know, Hidden Brain.
Okay, thank you.
You can put it in the chat, Chakra.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
For everyone. All right, the next question. Okay, this is something I think Tushar has answered. Now let's see if we can hear from someone else. Tell us about your writing schedule.
Well, I'd like to go ahead. I think we have one more question from Shruti. So before answering Shruti, I'll just come to your question, Radhika. See, about schedule, it is more on personal level. Every person's cycle is different. So for me, my schedule would be whenever I get ideas, and my ideas would come to my brain at around 11 in the night till 2 p.m. And I would just, at that time I would make my child sleep. So I would just note down it in my notepad, in my mobile phone, and then, transfer it into a Word document. So that's about person's schedule. It's different for different people. But if you want to, select one particular time, then probably you'll have to work it out. Like in the morning, some people are morning people, some people are night owls. So it entirely depends. Yeah. And should I go to the next question?
Yes.
Okay. So this is more of a parenting question, I guess. Yeah. But then anyway, Shruti, what I would suggest is there has to be, so you can schedule a timetable for your child. Throwing tantrums in this pandemic, it's okay. Even the children are going through a lot. They're going through a lot. Mental distress, they are not able to physically, they are all energy, right? So much energy, and they have to, give out that energy somehow. They're not able to do that right now, and we as parents need to understand that. The very first thing is understand your child if the child is throwing a tantrum, because they are not having the full potential. They are not using their full potential to live their life. Right now they are the most affected people, right? So try to understand and try to make it, if you can make a time schedule for the child, probably he'll also reduce the screen time. So you'll have to work on, what kind of activities can you imbibe in day-to-day routine. Just work it out. Just write down all his strengths. Probably if you can write down the strengths of the child, and then motivate the child to do those activities, and you also participate in those activities. If you do it along with the child will definitely have fun, and the tantrums will lower down.
Yeah,
That's my
right.
answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Apurva. Hope, Shruti, this answers your question. Moving on, this is, many people have asked this. How do you decide the pricing of the book?
I would like to go ahead on that.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is based on where I want to sell the book. So for example, I first wanted my first and last book to be hardbound with a jacket over it. I wanted it to go international. I wanted it to be picked up by masses. But all these were contradicted to each other. So publishers said And also some authors said, there's one gentleman called Alok Kejriwal from Bombay, India Games CEO. So he said that if you want to go international, put it in a paperback model. Otherwise, international publishing partners will not publish them, right? So that's one. Second is, if you want it to be picked up by masses, automatically hardbound book becomes one, exclusive. Second, high priced. Publisher will not let you buy sell it at a lower price. And third, it will become bulky. So put it as a paperback. Third, if you want it to be picked up by masses, it has to be sub 500 rupees price. If you want it to go into maybe libraries or picked up by executives, you can put it at maybe 1,000 plus, because AI as a genre go in that price range, maybe 750 to 2,000 range. So you can put it at that, but then your book sales will fall drastically. So that's why I put it as paperback. Paperback and soft copy, and 350 rupees. So that's how I priced it at. And now it is getting picked up faster, but if it would have been hardbound, then it would not have sold. So then publishers said, then you should just keep one copy as hardbound. Nothing will be selling in the market at least. So it depends upon market as well as whom you want the book to be picked up by. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vishal. So I'm just trying to find the very first question, which I think one of us can answer this. What advice aspiring author who feels he's okay? Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Give me a thumbs
Yes,
up.
we can.
Yeah.
There's a lag, Radhika. I think there's a lag.
Okay. Yeah, there is a lag. So what advice do you have? Okay, let me just quickly put it in the chat, which would be easier, and someone can just pick it and answer. All right, that's better. There seems to be some internet connection issue, I guess. Just a second.
Can I say something for a minute, please?
Sure.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I just wanted to check what was the previous point about paperback and hard copy. I just wanted to, I missed half of it.
So I think Vishal, you can,
Yeah, Vishal is saying something.
Sir, it is, if it is hardbound, it will become bulky. Second, it will become kind of exclusive, like hardbound and paper jacket. Those are kind of books that go with Alibaba or Jack Welch and those kind of books, which are very highly popular by highly popular gentlemen across the world or women. So my publisher and some authors said that if you want it to be picked up internationally, don't make it hardbound, make it soft copy, make it paperback. If you want it to be priced at below 500, make it paperback, because then your publisher will not let you sell it at a lower price if it is hardbound. So that's the idea. So paperback, masses getting the copy as well as selling it internationally. Otherwise, international partners will not publish it. That's the idea.
I just wanted to share my experience.
Sure.
Is it okay? Is it okay to share my experience?
Go ahead, sir.
So my first book, as I told you, is priced at $299. I wish I had priced it at $199. It would have sold better because it is only 160 odd pages, and it is what I would say a very ordinary quality of paper, and as I told you, very bad binding. So I was not happy with the quality of this book. But whatever it sold, I told you, it got me 9.6 lakhs only from that. That's besides the point. When I went to CNBC, first you have to understand how it happens. So first book, you do what Vishal is saying, go for a ordinary copy. I'll also give you a little tip here. I had said 200 copies, and I was only halfway through. It is like 160 pages. That time I was just about 100 pages, and I went to a seminar in which one of my very good friends, when he introduced himself, he had 3 books in his hand. And he says, I am an author of 3 books. And you know, you have 3 books like this in your hand and you say, I'm an author of 3 books. And then outside, they were available on sale. I picked up all the 3 books. The 3 books combined was about 1,200 rupees. I came and studied those books. One book, if you see the word count, and I wish I'd taken it out and shown it to you, it was about 60 pages book. It had nothing. He's a very good friend of mine, so I won't name him. There's not even a single thing which is his original idea. It is all, you know, like content which has been combined from many authors. So they say if you copy from one author, it is plagiary. And when you copy from many, it's a research. So he did that research and published a book. Copied from 20 authors, mixed it up, and here's a book. Okay, 60 pages. And then if you see that book, the print is big, the spaces are high, and every 3rd page there's a big quote. Okay, and 60 pages. Book tiyar ho gayi. 2nd book and 3rd book. One book is good, the other 2 are just like that. I came and told Satish, I said, why am I writing 200 books here? I also can write 2 books of 100 pages each and say I'm an author of 2 books. So we froze it there. We said, chodo yaar, ab isko 200 page karne ki zarurat nahi hai. We'll complete it. So this book was not the way I designed it for 200 pages. When this book went out in the market and when this started getting a little response, imagine that one of the authors of this book, who's also a friend of mine, her book got published by CNBC. And when I asked her, I said, how did your book get published? She said, there's a neighbor of mine, or whatever story. I said, can you connect me to that lady? I connected, they read my first book and proposed to publish my 2nd book. Now this lady tells me we don't do in CNBC, there's not a single paperback. First thing is that we only have hard copies. Secondly, we have no books less than $4.99. $4.99 is our base price. Okay, I thought I'm getting CNBC ka logo there. So kar lo.
Yeah, that will just.
Now see the difference. The difference is that this book was on the airport. This book you're talking of internationally, this book has sold more internationally than nationally because Amazon does not print it and ship it. They have a printing system that they have liaison with any other countries. They send the manuscript, it gets printed there and sold there. Okay, so there's no shipping cost. So the bulk doesn't matter. Third thing, can I tell you now? I'm just sharing because you have this belief. Just about 10 minutes back, this has arrived. Can you see this? Can you see
The
these two
boxes?
cartons?
Yes, the boxes.
These are 100 copies of $1 Million Second. I've just got an order from Lions Club in Mumbai. Every club is being given 1 copy of $1 Million Second. Okay. There's a friend of mine, Jogesh Jain. Narinder is here. Narinder has been coached by me. And Narinder will tell you how we went through this journey. He's already become, he's an upcoming author. His book is lying with a publisher. Jogesh Jain started some inner circle where he got about 40 people to read a book a month. And then after 2 months or over, he told them, if you like time management as a subject, I will not only ask you to read that book, we'll get the author to speak to us. Okay, so we got 40 books sold there. And this is because of the quality. I'm telling you, it is not only, if you open that book I just showed you, see this book's quality. See this book's quality. And if you see the paper, you see the feel of that book is a royal book. So now I feel you have to decide, ye kam books bike to better hai, because it gives you airport visibility. It gives you this. And now I've realized that whether it is CNBC or it is Notion Press or something, self-publishing also has an advantage. But then you have to weigh the pros and cons. Then you will not be reaching the airports. It's very difficult. Then distribution, self-publish kar loge, Amazon pe bik jayegi, but for it to be distributed, that imagine, okay, tell me, how would you feel? I went to Delhi, and what is the name of that shop? Keynote place. I go to a bookshop, and when I'm entering the bookshop, outside in the show window, I find my book right in front. That means passerbys on Keynote place can also see my book from outside without entering the book, without entering the shop. Now that gives you an immense feeling. First thing is, I took a picture of that okay, this is a bookshop where my book is being displayed in the show window. So guys, I feel, think big. With your first book, you can make a mark. I have had some very bad experiences of listening to somebody, I'm not naming, big organization, big name. And what I hear on the stage is, book is a marketing tool. Don't worry about the content. Design a book a good cover, write a good title, and make it a marketing tool. Content doesn't matter. I feel so bad. Book is a sacred thing. We are going to be authors. Let's not disrespect the sanctity of a book. Okay, I can't say content doesn't matter. If you write good content, your message is good, write a paperback and switch to hardcovers, they'll do you good. I just thought because you said this, I said, let me give you a perspective.
No, that was my thought process, their thought process put together, and this is selling. Whereas I agree that I wanted it to be hardbound and internationally sold, but I didn't wanted it to be one copy sold internationally. I wanted it to be many. So
if you sell one copy, what is the percentage of authors in the world that you become a part of? Or, okay, I'll tell you something without asking you the question now. Marshall Goldsmith told us that to be in the top 50% of the authors in the world, how many copies do you need to sell? And the answer was one book.
I didn't
because
get that.
More than 50% authors have written books that never got sold. Okay. So when I'm in an inner circle of Brian Tracy. So one day we came on a call and he was there and we were about 10 people and there were about 30, 40 people expected to come. So I got a chance and I said, Brian, tell other people come, can I say something? He says, yes. So I picked up this book and I said, thank you very much. Now he must have got this book. I've sent him a personal signed copy, but kahan usko yaad rahegi in so many. So I said, I just want to remind you, and I put this like this. I'm so happy and proud that you have endorsed this book. He says, thank you very much. Congratulations. And then this is what he said to others. He said, guys, out of every 1,000 people who think of writing a book, only 100 people write it. That is a world statistics. And out of the 100 people who write it, only 10 publish it. So Sushil has become in that club of 10 out of 1,000 people who have published a book. Let's congratulate him. So when you publish a book, please remember you are in the 10% elite club.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you for your inspiration.
Thank you, sir. What was the cost, sir? Like with that publisher?
Which one? Sorry.
With that publisher, whom
CNBC.
You know what? I was so lucky. It doesn't happen now. CNBC stopped doing it. I paid zero.
Oh.
Okay. Zero. What they told me is, they told me that we will give you a royalty of 25%. And then, so I said, okay, that means I will get 100 rupees. Okay. She says, no, you will get 50 rupees per book. No, sorry. What is 25% of 500?
125.
125.
125.
She says, no, it'll be half of that. I said, why? She says, I give you 25% of the cost other than what we give to the distributor. Distributor के पैसे उसको हम 50% देते हैं, फिर आपको उसका 50% देंगे. So 25% देंगे. So it came to very little. But then I realized मार्केटिंग फ्री में हो रही है, एयरपोर्ट पे किताब जा रही है, पूरे इंडिया में क्रॉसवर्ड्स पे जा रही है. So I think let me try this out. Then I'll tell you, I'm sorry I'm taking this story is so inspiring, which I'm telling you. One day I get an email to say that please send us an invoice for 50,000 rupees. एक second, just a minute. Let me calculate. Was it 50 or what? 2,000 into. No, sorry, it was something like 2 lakhs. Or no, anyway, I don't remember now, but something like more than 1 lakh. Please send us an invoice. And then invoice, they give a sort of a sample invoice. उस पे लिखा है 2,000 copies. मैंने कहा मेरी बुक तो अभी प्रिंट में नहीं हुई, तो आप 2,000 copies, I think you sent somebody else's invoice to me. I called up that lady, you know what she tells me? She says, you know, we have to close the financial year, so we have already sold 2,000 copies of yours on paper. Okay, for us, when we print 2,000 copies, the distributors pre-buy it. Now it is like a film, and now it is a distributor's job to sell them. So I got my 1 lakh from this book even without the book being published as yet. Print nahi hui thi abhi. Okay, so this is the advantage of going to a publisher like that. So if you get Penguin, if you get CNBC and all those, now I think CNBC is not doing this anymore. Now they ask you for 2 to 3 lakhs to invest earlier, but I got this, so I was very lucky. So I've got all this money from this book. I never had to invest in it because I was always getting my royalty before the book got. So now I've just got this books. I will sell it for $499, and I can show you this. They have given me a 40% discount. Royalty to mil chuki hai, but when I can sell it myself, this is what I have to pay. I've got 49,000 rupees from Lions Club, and I'm going to pay these people 22,000 rupees. So that's my straight profit, is in addition to the royalty.
Yes.
Thanks.
Find a good publisher, find it's worth it. Okay, and then also pray, like what happened with me was good luck. So I'll pray for all of you. And you know, I'll be very happy to share many, many more tips. I think Narinder will tell you, I think he's got more than 100 tips lying with him, which we kept over because he was going under coaching over 6 months. We had so many things to tell him as we used to remember. Narinder, ye bhi kar lena. Narinder, wo bhi kar lena. Today morning, I was telling him, give me all those points, and he also could locate where he's written all those points.
Is that the next title of the book as well? Tips to write the market.
Yeah,
book.
It could be, yeah.
It can be. No. Why don't you do that too?
No, my next thing is, again, I told you, I forgot one thing, repurpose the book. So this book, I paid 25,000 rupees to a lady who's translated this into Hindi. So now one more book will get published in the next 2-3 months. And this is because I found there's a Hindi market, because when Spotify said that this will do better in Hindi, and they asked me, can you do in Hindi? I said, yes. Okay, so when Spotify got done in Hindi, we got much more response. So there are a lot of readers who want to read in Hindi, and this book is not there.
So Spotify publishes books?
No. Spotify only did my podcast.
Zindagi Unplugged.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, when they sent a English audition, they came back and said, no, our research shows that it will do well in Hindi. Can your client do in Hindi?
Okay.
They said yes. So then we did in Hindi.
Yeah,
you must all listen to that. You'll get an idea of how a book gets into a podcast, and makes you sell the book also.
Great.
Maybe we are talking about publishing, and Brig, you have covered most of the questions. So there is one question where I think Roma asked, for the first time author, publishing through house or self-publishing, which is preferred? Anyone?
If you'll ask me, I'll definitely tell that you should go for self-publishing, because for self-publishing, there's zero cost. You need not to pay a single rupee. If you have a laptop, you can start writing on Word document. You can complete your book. You can upload your manuscript, and in 700 or 800 odd rupees, you can design your cover and you can upload it. So it's that simple. And within a month, you can do that. If you do it on KDP, that is Kindle Direct Publishing. So for first-time authors, as Sir said, you shouldn't go for the profit. So that could be a better idea. Yeah. Others can have different opinion, but then this is what I think.
I would like to add on to this. There are pros and cons for both the things. Okay, if you're going to self-publishing, you will miss out few of the opportunities. And if you're going with a publishing house, again there are few opportunities that you gain, and there are few opportunities you can also miss. It's up to us. What is the purpose we have? What is the audience that we are trying to reach? Books gives us some credibility. So we all the basic purpose why we all wrote the book was to share stories, what we have, to share our experiences. And yet profit making was not the major intention of us. Monetization was never the thought. So yeah, it depends on the goal what we have set. With the publishing house, you get some assistance like covering, proofreading, formatting, a lot of things. And with the self-publishing, you can experience all those things.
Yes.
Right. So there are pros and cons. It's up to us how technically sound we are. If we are able to do it online by ourselves, then it is good. If we need some help, we can also go for help.
Right.
Next question is, did you use any tools for writing?
Grammarly. Grammarly is the best tool, I guess, for writing, because it covers everything. It covers all the pronunciation, grammars. It also checks plagiarism. So that is one really great tool to use, Grammarly, yes.
Agreed.
This again, people asked, how did you find your niche? More or less a similar question. How did you find your niche?
Okay.
It's yeah, bro, go ahead. Yes.
Okay, so I have two what do you say, solution or two advice suggestion. The number one, how you can find your niche is write about something you're really passionate about. Like truly you think that this is something that people should know, right? If you want to help some person, right? Like in my case, I wanted to reach people to create that awareness. So I was completely passionate about it, right? The second is something that you are an expert on. Like, let me give you an example. Radhika is an expert in planning and all that thing. She can write a book on planning, gap, which we all fill the gap in the morning, which we all know, like gratitude, affirmations and plan, right? Yeah. So we all follow that, and Radhika should write on that because that is going to help someone, right? Like Deepta is a wellness coach. She actually teaches you how to avoid medicines. So that she should be writing on because she's an expert on that. Even like you might be passionate about something else, but that is the part which you are absolutely expert on. Sorry. Right. So that is something that people will be, looking out for. So that is one thing that you can write on. So there are two things: passion and what you're expert on. Chakra, you can take the stage.
Yes. So I don't want to share a lot of things about that, but then I can tell you. Apurva was talking about passion and in which field you can be expert. So you have different ways to analyze that. Like if there's a book called Ikigai. If you'll read that book, you'll be able to find out what actually you want to do and what you should do. So once you'll find out that what you should do, that could be your niche. And it is not going to come in a day. You have to work time and again. You have to fine tune it, and then you'll understand. Yes.
Okay. So the next question around the same thing. I need some help with the content. Okay, I have got started.
Can I take this?
Niche. I need some help.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I was stuck when I was writing my book, and I needed the content what to write. Now what I did was I brought all the like-minded people together. Now I asked them to go ahead and start debating about what is. When I wrote my book on leadership, I was telling I brought them all together. I wrote out a question: what are the key skills that leaders require? Now there was a lot of brainstorming session. People started expressing their experiences and what they look in a leader. So all this discussion, I made a note of all these discussions, and then these became my content for the book. So you can create a survey, roll it out to the people, and if people are close by, if you have a community like this, please ensure that you bring the community together and create some debate sessions where you can get a lot of ideas.
I'll give you a quick tip here. You are all in STC, all like-minded people. Firstly, create a mastermind here, and somebody can conduct a mastermind to say, this is my topic and what can you say? And you don't have to go and create surveys in the rest of the world.
Correct.
Second is, Rajiv Talreja came out with an idea, and it's a whole story, but I won't talk about that, where he used to go as a corporate trainer to companies, or his people used to call up and they never used to give an appointment. And then the same person, instead of saying that I am coming from quantum learning solutions and please tell us if I can meet your HR head, koi nahi milta tha usko. Now the message went up like that I am so-and-so calling from Rajiv Talreja's office, who's an upcoming author. He's an author of an upcoming book called Lead or Bleed. He is going to interview 200 or some number of corporate leaders whom he thinks are great leaders. Your CEO's name has been shortlisted in that. Would you like us to interview? And if so, when can you give a time? He got started, the same company जो कभी HR head को नहीं मिलने देती थी, उन्होंने ही उनको बुलाना शुरू कर दिया. He interviewed and put 50 of those interviews in his book. Okay. Now their interviews have been shortlisted and put there. About 75% of his book is his content, and 25% is that. Now Jogesh Jain, who's a good friend of mine, he's recently started a book called Think Like a CEO. And he's doing a similar thing. He's already interviewed about 10 CEOs already. And he keeps publicizing this thing. He's got the book cover and all, everything is there. And he says, he goes on to LinkedIn and says that I'm publishing a book. If anyone wants, any CEO wants to come and be interviewed, let me know. So now he doesn't go to people, people come to him because everyone likes to see his name in that book. So you can all, you can help each other. See, you know each other. The moment you say, I've got a book, I'm stuck on this content, just get together.
That's the whole purpose of STC, sir.
Yeah.
No, I know it. I know very well. So we've got a similar community called TTOT.
What you can do? Let me just do this.
So we do a similar thing there. I'm saying use this community. You got a community already.
Once you will start, you will realize that 80% of the time will come. So that is how we can overcome, because action definitely needs.
Can we all go on mute?
It's all in your mind.
Some background noise.
Oh, it's going to take so much of. Don't even start.
Brig, please continue.
Brigadier, we have a mastermind on Thursdays. We all meet up and
every Thursday, yeah.
We share, we help each other to just
we actually do hand holding. If somebody has somebody is stuck somewhere, so we actually do hand holding and try to means tell him that you should do this or you should do that so that he can come out of that. Yeah. Yes. So
there was one.
Yeah, Colonel sir want to ask something. Yeah.
Sir, yeah, you're on mute.
That is extremely powerful. And, there's nothing like, I believe, and I started doing this in 2016 when I did my program called TTST, Train the Super Trainer, that communities work much better than any other form of learning. So please start building your communities. Communities is the best way of learning. So when, you help each other grow, and that's very powerful, particularly when you are you're all STC. Okay. So you're a similar lot of people. So you got like-minded people or a common goal, and you're all working on each other, and it works very well.
So on this, I think we got some questions. How to join STC? How to join STC? Yes. First of all, am I clear? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Radhika.
All right. So we are almost approaching towards the end. So I just want to say a few words here. All the details. Yes, there are a few people who have asked the same question, how to join STC. So we will be sharing a PDF, which will have all the information related to the authors, their books, and how to join STC, all those details. In addition to that, there are so many questions. So I like writing notes. So maybe as a team, what we are going to do is, to all the participants, we will just come up with answers. Then there might be one or two which could have got missed. So what we as a team will do is write down answers to all of those, whatever we discussed, everything we will put together and share it with you. Hope that will be helpful. Yes. All right. So
okay, just 1 second, 1 second. I want to say that today's content is so rich, that this content itself is capable of publishing a book by STC.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome. Wow.
A book by STC will be great.
You know, so you say this book is, and that is STC ka branding, and it is. So here, I think Aditya is there, and who else is? Narinder is there. In TTOT, we had the first first batch. They created a book, and we called it the TTST book, TTOT book. Okay.
Wow.
So all the authors got together, and this one chapter each, and you had about, it's called 7 mantras. That book is called 7 mantras. Okay. So it is 7 authors. Okay. And I've got a book, and I'm prepared to give everyone a copy of that as a gift, which was done by APSS. I'm also a member of the Asia Professional Speakers in Singapore. And what they did, they called a book called COVID-19. COVID is an acronym, and 19 authors, because it's COVID-19. So what they did, they asked everyone to write a chapter on how to pivot out of the COVID. 56 authors wrote that one chapter of 1,000 words, right? Now they said, they made a beautiful PDF, and they said that your own, they've made 5 covers, so you could select any one of those covers. Then there was a preface, which was common for everyone. Then it was content sheet, which you could make yourself, and it was very well designed. And then was your article is the first chapter, and you pick up any 18 from the rest of them and compile that book. And that book said COVID-19 compiled by Brigadier Sushil, Bhasin. So it is your article or your chapter with 18 more chapters, and now you could go and sell it, print it, whatever. I'm prepared to give you my copy free. So Radhika, because your chat is not enabled, I will send you a link, and you can forward to everyone as my gift to all of you.
The chat is
Thank
enabled.
you so much, sir.
Yeah, chat is enabled, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
So much. So what a nice way, right? Brig has,
Absolutely.
So let me see if I can pull out that right now, or then I'll send you. If I can find the link just now, I'll send you right now.
Yeah, sure. So, so this is the beauty of collaboration. Oh my God. And ending, what a great, brilliant idea. So we
actually did mastermind.
So I was surprised when I saw you back. I thought you had some other sessions, but thank you so much for taking your time and being here and just inspiring us.
No, I had a coaching session. I finished that and came back.
Thank you. So maybe last 2-3 minutes, key takeaway from this event. Why don't you put it in the chat? Key takeaway.
Or let's get people to speak, Radhika.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can allow them. Please.
Go on. We will share the PDF. We have all the email address. We will share it.
You can unmute yourself and you can start.
Amazing, very insightful session. It was like an essence.
Thank you,
that I always wanted.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Special thanks to Brigadier for taking out time and telling us like so important things, and from his experience also to all the authors. Yeah, motivated me. I will start from tomorrow.
Why not today?
Today, yeah.
It's like timing, no, Brigadier. So I mean morning, 7 o'clock.
नहीं, कई लोग मुहूर्त निकालते हैं पहले, वो मुहूर्त.
Yes, anybody?
Unmute and speak. Syed Mohammed.
Syed Mohammed, you can unmute and speak, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. What should I say now? Good afternoon, good evening by this time. Yeah.
We started with afternoon and now it's evening.
Yes.
Evening, yes.
It's been a really wonderful session and a lot of input, lot of good stuff there. And very nice. Kannan has put it very nicely, and Brigadier also. Only thing what I would say is that this we are doing every week, or how is that? Because this is the first time I'm attending.
Actually, this is the first time we have did, yeah. But if you have
But
liked it, we can do it
will
every
be
week.
planning. We
Yeah,
will
we
be
can.
planning such sessions more.
Yeah, because
The entire community is so
I think
excited.
it has to be shorter because it's 3 hours is too long.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
No,
So
sir,
we
the
had lot of
mastermind.
we had lot of authors in the group. So we wanted to do an author session, author summit, where we can bring in all the aspiring authors and walk us through our journey so that they get inspired. So that was the plan. Every week we have a mastermind that will go for an hour.
Yeah.
Radhika, I'll send you the link later. I can't find it. And also, I was just thinking that you recorded this session. You please have that on your YouTube and please sell it and make some money. This will be
Nice, sir. Good suggestion, sir. Good suggestion, sir.
STC can form some funds. I was going to say that I'm going to give you a suggestion, but please don't make me part of it. Give me the recording free. But don't sell that recording to me at least.
No, sir. No, we are not going to say.
I thought Brigadier will start by paying. So an example, so everybody will pay.
I don't mind if it is good for the community. I have no issues at all.
Not at all, sir.
Want your time, sir.
Sorry.
Your time is more costly than the money or the price you're going to pay for.
Absolutely.
And you gave us the time.
No. Let me tell you, I've done it most happily and most willingly, and particularly for two people, that is Aditya and Radhika. They are both very good friends, and they are both such people कि वो जो कहेंगे मैं कर ही दूंगा कैसे भी.
Agreed, sir. Agreed. Agreed to that point, sir. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Aditya, sir, you wanted to say something. Your hand is raised.
Yeah, but your sir is not there, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Thank you so much, everyone. We will share all these details. We have your email. You will get all these information. Thank you so much once again. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.